in a league of your own, created by you, for you. 2 leagues and 20 teams.
Wants to go in, shot right used on him.
Some are chosen to answer the call.
He's stuck with 1v4, but he's actually winning this 1v4.
Some are not. Will you be one of them? There will be obstacles. There will be quitters.
Hello, this is Youngbro Mixtape, the jungler for LAG.
Redbox just pulled him dead again. His support flashes and nice stuff, and this might be it for the Mises.
Tomorrow we're playing against the Silver Wolves. I don't know why they came up with that name because only 2 of them are silver and the rest of them are just a group of boosted trash.
Misses, he let get Dripless with a nice dash, and Cosmetic Radiance coming out. Dripless just kicks in, Red is in the backline, but he's invulnerable. Aqua trying to lift this fight.
Strike can decide the game.
It's too late. And top and Raidboss might be in trouble here. Oh, nice fight right now.
Will you join? Will you leave your mark? 10 teams battle it out for glory. Who will be victorious? And who will be the losers?
Bag is not even close here, so this is gonna be a free. Oh, he missed the slide!
10 weeks of intense competition.
There's actually, the redemption coming in, and there's the Ash. They do get the pull onto the Soraka. Soraka does fall, and this Darius does end up falling. Late heal bash, Aqua will go down, and it looks like that could be the game for Ellen. Has the kill going to this Ash.
There will be people who stand in your way, and things won't always be easy. But will you prove that you have what it takes to succeed? Well, you show us.
Here, autoing them down to death. Nice ultimate by Youngblood. Double kill for Baiting King. Triple kill? Triple kill for Baiting King. Oh wait, this might be in trouble here. Griffin wants to go in. The support falls off first. Griffin trying to fight Hunter 1v1. Who wins this fight? I have no idea.
Oh my goodness.
Autoing him down. Really used by Griffin. Flashing the Hunter. Ultimate! Oh my goodness! This is a... And Bowman is gonna go down here. Barrier used. Nice shockwave.
All right, I'm Brett Bestrin Olivier. Today we are getting ready for the quarterfinals of the Dominate League. And boy, do we have a match today between TBW, Torn But Whole, and SLM, Support Lives Matter. 2 teams that have dominated the top of the rankings since week 1 of the league. The reason we saw it so early is because SLM kind of slumped towards the end of the season. They started out real strong, winning most of their first 3 or 4 weeks. And towards the end of the season, they had to give up a couple free matches and slid down in the 6th seed. Whereas TBW, who led early on and was undefeated for the first half of the season, slowly fell down into the seed 3. So that's why we're seeing these 2 powerhouses so early, despite being a very high-octane matchup. Well, we're having a little difficulties.
I think your mic is muted. I couldn't hear you.
But it's showing up as not muted.
Huh. Yeah, on the stream. Technical difficulties. We haven't started yet. All right. All right, guys. Don't go away. Don't go away. This game is gonna be spicy. We got some new overlays coming up.
Oh yeah, stream's been looking real good, real nice and fresh for the playoffs. So
Yeah. While we wait for the technical difficulties to get solved.
okay.
All right. So
Wait, but I can hear you.
yeah,
they
I
can't
can
hear you on the
you. Yeah. Are you on the
Whoever.
computer?
Oh, you're the one casting the stream, or you're the one streaming. Ooh, okay.
All right. So let's just go and pick Ben without him for a second.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this started.
Yeah. So let's just hop into pick Ben right now.
Can you pull the pick ban screen up, Note Man?
All right. Wait. Oh, look at that. Podcast.
Ooh, that is looking clean. Who did this, by the way?
I did. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice. Very nice. All right, so we have TBW on the blue side, SLM on the red side. We are using the 10 band as seen in Professional League of Legends, where it snakes through. So we've been using this whole system. It worked out with a lot of success, and I think the teams really like it. So
yeah, so Tornbahol actually loses their first pick here because of emergency subs or something. So the Aatrox ban was not actually an Aatrox ban.
Understood. Ooh, let me flip over to the actual tab. Okay, so out of TBW and SLM, so right off the bat, we're seeing a target ban from TBW. You know, support Lives Matter, known for one tricking Soraka, and I don't think he's gotten to play it very much throughout the entire tournament.
Yeah, and no surprise here with the Draven ban. Dreer Prince really known to have that Draven carry, and with only 2 bans on their side, these 2 bans are the biggest bans they need. Every team can collectively agree with that.
100% agree. We had the same strategy going in against them, and we need to see if SLM knows how to adapt. Ooh, actually, Draven is left over, but you know what? I would not be surprised
if they first pick the Draven.
I could see that happening. Draven's in a good point right now, and there's no way they should be letting SLM get their comfort 80 carry. Okay. At least for Bosomness, I don't know how wide his champion pool is, as he just recently switched to the jungle. He was playing 80 carry for most of the season.
I don't know what they're thinking here. They're challenging Dreer Prince on his own Draven, when Draven is like really strong right now with that first item death stance. So maybe they have something in their minds that they aren't telling everyone.
Okay.
Yeah,
just out of curiosity, stream, can you hear me yet? Type it in the chat if you can.
I'm maybe a patch or two ago, I would have been okay with leaving the Draven up, but in this situation, I'd much rather ban Soraka over. I'd rather ban Draven over Soraka. In fact, even the Taliyah is questionable because Sweet is great at Taliyah. You know, that could have been a much better first pick. I'm not sure what SLM's jungler pool is like. Maybe they really needed the Elise to be secured for Bosomness. I think that Taliyah ban's really questionable unless they're just calling him out and say, hey, show us what you got. We can handle it.
Taliyah is a fairly strong pick right now as well, though, because she gives a lot of map pressure with her ultimate, and she can easily cut off. She can make it so easy to siege a tower by just cutting off the enemy team from being able to defend it. We saw it several times in official Riot events at MSI. You'd see teams siege one inhibitor tower, swap over to like the mid lane, and cut off the enemy team while they're still trying to get back to the mid lane and take a free tower. So,
and yeah, she's definitely in a very strong point right now. But to be honest, that should have been an SLM ban, not a TBW ban. because we've seen Swede with a lot of success in not only this league but other leagues on Talia. Talia has great chemistry with Kled as shown by Aim and Ignite. How they've used that combination to big advantages. So I'm really questioning picking LeBlanc over Talia, leaving Draven up, but I'm interested to see where they go from here. Jace is the next ban out of TBW, and we see Twitch coming out from SLM. We don't know too much about TBW's AD carry. I think Captain Spencer's only played in one series this league against Aim and Ignite. So I wonder if those bans are targeted towards his solo queue performances or just champions that SLM doesn't want to have to deal with. So SLM has a very good bot lane in Draven and Karma. If TBW picks a late game bot lane, they got to be very careful they don't get rolled over and lose the game, way too early.
Yeah.
Politics is a lot more early game pressure for SLM, but Elise is fine as well. So that jungle matchup is fairly even. Varus Nami, I don't think that's a very strong lane. I think they're going to have a lot of trouble dealing with Draven Karma, especially early.
Actually, early on, Nami can make trades work out quite well in their favor, as long as Draven isn't allowed to get too many axes off.
Hold on a second. Is that a Jinx pick? A Jinx pick? Jinx mid lane is what it looks like to me. Maybe Draven, but
could be Draven mid lane as well. Though
Dreer Prince is definitely on Draven without a doubt. So that's a Jinx mid lane.
That's an interesting pick, especially going into the LeBlanc.
Somebody is suggesting it could also be Jinx top, but with Galio mid. Galio mid is a thing. Karma. Galio mid would be okay. Okay against LeBlanc, but I don't see what other lane Jinx belongs in other than the bot lane. So what? It doesn't surprise me that SLM is pulling out a little bit of cheese here, as they said they were planning on.
Just a second, let me.
Curious to see which player ends up with the Jinx.
There we go. Turn off the client sound there while they go through pick bans in the actual client itself. That's... I don't like that. I don't like an AD carry pick into an assassin, one way or another. And even in the top lane, Kled would do fairly well.
Mm-hmm. All right, so other than just lane matchups, let's look at this as a team comp matchup. I see a really, really good engage comp from TBW. Nami, Varus, Kled. That's golden right there. That's enough to engage at the blink of an eye whenever they want to. They have 3 go buttons.
That really actually even more than that, because Cocoon from Elise and Chains from LeBlanc can also pick off somebody if they find him in the jungle. So
right, so definitely a lot of catch potential there. What's the matter with the lobby?
Okay. Someone dodged.
He was banning.
Yeah.
Okay. So we should be back in shortly.
Yeah. Though that being said, SLM is not missing out on too much for engage, because the Kha'Zix Galio combo is extremely strong in getting to that back line and just absolutely wreaking havoc. And
I don't see SLM looking for engages here.
No.
They have this double AD carry with 1 tank, assuming Galio is building tank and not damage. So, I'm really trying to wrap my mind around
that. That could work for disengage comp as well between Karma and Galio. That could work fairly well. If one of your AD carries gets jumped on, you have the Galio ult come in to give them reduced damage. Karma uses her ult shield. Everybody runs back and they start kiting and taking off some damage.
Yeah, and that's definitely a point, and that works great for Jinx, but Draven wants to go in. He's not scared of anybody, He's not the kind of AD carry to disengage a fight and farm for later. So I need to see whether we're going to see a mage. Does Galio mid typically build mage or tank?
Galio mid builds tank as far as I'm aware, and we're having more problems in the lobby apparently. Got another dodge coming through.
I've received word that we do have a sponsor for this match.
Oh, do we?
Yeah. Could you
do you want me to throw that in?
Yeah, let me just change the text to this, and we have to give him a shout out. So thank you, Mr. Moose, for sponsoring this game, this best of series between Torba Hall and Support Lives Matter. Moose is one of the staff members in Resin Esports. So thanks for your gracious donation.
There we go. That should look all right.
That looks perfect. That looks perfect. Moose, shout out to Moose. Moose was here. And if anyone ever wants to leave any message in the pick band, just message me, and we will figure something out. But anyways, it looks like okay. I will peace out.
All right. So something else interesting to notice about this pick ban phase was the lack of your solo queue threats. I guess solo queue might not be the right word, but there's a real few strong meta champions left out here. Most notably, I see Zach is in here, who's really dominated at all levels of play. Didn't get a single ban, or he didn't get a ban until the second round, I should say.
Yeah. I was about to say, Zach is definitely present in this list, but
right.
The fact that he did fall that far was rather surprising because he was the last ban, I believe, like straight up last ban.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know if either team is able to play him much, or if both teams had, a team comp in mind. And that's the reason why he was left open for so long. But I wonder if we'll see much of him at all this series. Although meta isn't everything in this league, it typically benefits teams that learn those certain...
meta may not be everything, but we're looking at two pretty meta comps, actually. So...
Also, this is a Jinx top lane. Very interesting. Boy, I've never seen that before, to be completely honest.
I have heard about it. I heard Jinx was one of the... I've heard of Jinx going into the solo lanes along with Lucian. Like, those two could be swapped out.
So do you think this is a pick we're going to be seeing in future LCS matches in that case, since Kled is so popular? Or do you think that's going to stay here in the Risen Dominate League?
It's hard to tell. A good team could really pull it off fairly well, I believe. But I think if a team's going to go for that second AD carry, they're going to go for that Lucian. Just because it is a lot safer of a pick.
Mm-hmm. All right. Are we just about... So we are done with the draft phase. And everything on TBW's side looking usual. LeBlanc running teleport. That's not too out of the ordinary. It's not like she's going to have much kill pressure on a Galio anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have, a 3-minute delay here before we get into the game?
3 minutes. So...
So we've talked about the team comps a little bit. Okay, so now we know the lane matchups. Jinx versus Kled. I really don't see how Jinx can be very effective in that matchup. I think Kled's going to get on top of her. I think Kled's not going to have a hard time dealing with Chompers. I think he's just going to run over her, especially with the early jungler out of Elise. It's not a matchup where SLM has a big jungle advantage to where he can just babysit the top lane.
Yeah.
But these are two even junglers as far as early game goes.
Early on, I think Jinx will have the advantage just because of that range and the rockets to help push the lane a bit faster. So it's really up to the junglers in this matchup. We should see Elise heading up early, because if she lands a cocoon onto Jinx, that gives Kled free entrance, and he is going to run all over Jinx once he gets in. It's that matter of getting in first without taking too much damage, which Jinx can kite fairly well, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem unless that jungle comes up. So it's a matter of if Elise comes to gank and whether or not Kha'Zix is there to counter it.
Yeah. Now, I definitely see Elise going top early. They want to get that flash out of Jinx as soon as possible. Hopefully SLM thinks ahead. The clear speed on Kha'Zix should be about the same, unless he's starting at Raptors. I think in this case, Kha'Zix should go, blue, wolves, red, so he can be top at the same time as Elise. If you're behind Elise and she gets that flash shot of your top lane Jinx, then she's going to be in big trouble. So
Yeah.
SLM needs to adjust their jungle route to make sure that they're not dealing their top laner a card they can't deal with.
Well, the interesting thing is Kha'Zix could start the Raptors if he's running, I think it's one experience Quint. If he runs one experience Quint, he can go Raptors, Red, and Scuttle Crab, I believe, and hit level 3.
Right, but that's not a very
And
healthy clear, is the concern with that. That's a full back clear after that.
Not necessarily, because with Galio in the mid lane, his Q would actually help really quite a lot with clearing the Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kha'Zix can also heal up fairly well off of Scuttle Crab itself. So, because, I mean, you don't take any damage from Scuttle Crab.
True. But Scuttle Crab might not be an option.
It might
We'll
not
have
be,
to see how healthy he is after
yeah.
the clear.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to. I think that's definitely where we're going to have to watch once we get into game right away here. I think the jungle matchup is going to definitely be this deciding factor because Galio and LeBlanc shouldn't be too big of a deal. Galio should be able to shrug off much of what LeBlanc wants to do early game anyways, so.
All right, we should be getting into game here if you want to switch over the overlay.
Yeah, I'll do that just as soon as my client decides to load the loading screen.
Right. Level 1, I'd like to see... I think SLM should try to get some topside vision. If they move up with 2 or 3, either top jungle or top mid jungle, they could get some early information on Kha'Zix, and if they're lucky, they might even get Jinx Flash before the jungler has a chance to protect her. So I don't think TBW should play level 1 passive, although game 1 of the playoffs, you'll probably see a lot of reserved strategy from these teams.
Why do I have a white bar? Why is my client in windowed mode? Well, that's something I gotta fix once we get in, but for now it'll work.
Galio TP as expected. Jinx with heal? I just don't understand. I don't see what the merit in that is. I mean, it's a high-level player on a good team, but I am just completely lost for words. I don't know what to think. I really think this Kled is going to steamroll her. I don't think Jinx is going to have enough early pressure to stop Kled from getting to a power point, and Kled's going to roll over her. And with such a good engage count from TBW, they're going to control mid, top, and I think it's SLM's demise. I don't see what SLM's win comp here is. They have a decent early game. I guess we'll just have to see. All right, we're getting into it now. I don't know if you guys can see just yet. Let me set directed camera.
We're following along with Galio down into the river here.
SLM grouped is... I'm sorry. Yes, SLM grouped is 1. They have a ward in the river. And TBW seem content in just sticking there. I would have liked to see them get a little more vision and be a little more aggressive with such a vulnerable top laner, especially without teleport. They could have made a little more progress there, but they're just going to play reserved. It is game 1. Everybody's a little nervous, I'm sure.
And also, it does look like it's Draven top.
Oh.
Just because we were talking about Jinx top earlier. It is Draven top.
Huh. I guess in that case they were in pick order for their draft.
Yep.
All right. TBW is a little blind to the river. They don't have anybody standing out there, but luckily for them, Support Life Matter decides to sit back, and we're going to see a Raptor start from Kha'Zix with a good leash from Galio. LeBlanc switches to the mid lane, and now we have a Kled in mid up against this Galio. Oh my god.
Yeah. Now that changes a few dynamics.
I still expect to see Elise go 3 camps. I need to turn my game volume down in just a second. I still do expect Elise to go 3 camps and gank top lane, health permitting. Even with Draven there, it's still, a vulnerable champion, no teleport, if he gets pushed out of lane. And Kha'Zix should be too low to counter gank, I believe, after these 3 camps.
We'll just have to see.
Now, I can take back...
fairly low right now, but Smite will heal him up to probably just over half health. So, yeah, about half.
So I need to take back what I said earlier about this bot lane. I said it was going to be a complete stomp with a Draven Karma lane. But this should be a little more manageable for both teams. And neither AD carry is particularly, early game oriented. If anything, I would give the advantage to Varus. So once again, that's just another advantage I see for TBW.
Yeah.
And
Kled was dismounted already. Just
look,
as a
no
note.
more top lane. We see Elise coming in for the early gank. Kha'Zix is on the map.
Yeah.
Nowhere to be seen.
Draven
And
dove into the towers.
Nice kill by Awesomeness. We see Flash is
Yeah.
burnt.
And flash in by Kled, but yeah, nothing there.
Kha'Zix is looking around the bot side of the map, not being as effective just yet. Of course, bot lane is pushed up. All 3 lanes for SLM are being pushed up right now. So if Awesomeness can get going, and these lanes tend to be like this throughout the rest of the game, this can be a cakewalk for Elise.
That was a unfortunately aggressive mistake by the SLM top laner, though. Because
you should have seen that coming from a mile
away.
away.
If you're playing an AD carry top, you should know the first thing the jungler wants to do is come and gank you.
Right. Especially pushed up that far, and I don't know whose responsibility that falls in on not having Draven aware of the situation going on. But
I think a lot of that is Draven, because, I mean, if you're pushed up that far, I don't know when these wards up in the top lane... Actually, they're not... Like, he doesn't even have his ward placed, right? And I don't think he did back then, either, so...
He did not. So we're seeing some more skirmishes in the mid lane. This time, Elise is still around to help, because Awesomeness is not recalled. We're going to see Galio's flash.
No flash on it. He burnt it earlier, so that's a dead Galio. Yeah.
And once again, pushed up, no vision against an early game jungler. While your jungler's back in base, you really need to be a lot more careful than that. They are not respecting Awesomeness at all. We're starting to see a little skirmish down here. And once again, TBW is looking like they're coming away with an advantage in these small little fights. Hopefully Elise is looking to recall here, cash in on that gold, and start to extend her early game lead on the other team.
Yeah. And good route coming in from TBW there, but trading damage with Draven is not something you usually want to do.
At any moment here, SLM's bot lane is going to find themselves out of wards, and there's going to be a spider down there looking to make their lives not a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's quite likely. I like the fact that Draven finally has wards in the top lane.
I don't like the fact that he has them both down at once. You know, he's going to be vulnerable sooner or later, and unless somebody else helps him out with the warding...
And he's rooted under tower, and there's Elise. And
blew his flash, still dies. No assist for Elise, but that is looking rough. I'm not so sure about this AD carry top laner.
Yeah, this is Immortals Huni rather than SKT Huni coming out here with the AD carry top lane.
It is, and look, he's going to come back to lane with no wards to put down. So if Elise doesn't have information that he's going to be out of wards, but if she decides to come top again, now that Flash is down, he's going to have a rough time. Elise looking for somebody to come walking into her bush, because she is strong right now. She picked up a Dark Seal. I don't know if I really agree with that purchase, especially since she did not get an assist on that last one.
Oop.
And Pitbull has no vision of Elise right now. No Flash either. Is Kled close to level 6? I do not believe... Oh, he is. Oh, I would love to see him ult. Just get on top of him. You have your jungler right there. But look, there's Kha'Zix coming around the side. Is he going to be jumping into this bush?
Yeah.
He does.
And there's Elise ready to go.
Elise turns, so now Kled and Galio are in a 1v1. Elise is going to beat Kha'Zix in the 1v1. Teleport coming down from LeBlanc. Draven's going to stay top lane, of course, because he has no teleport.
And Kled's chasing.
Kled runs in. Elise is not following that up, so Kled is down there on his own. And it seems like this fight's going to come to an end. Heavily warded up on that side of the map by Torn But Whole. So they seem to be very confident. Just could not get back on with that Kled ult. I would have liked to see it used earlier, especially if Kled could have turned on to the Kha'Zix that Elise was dueling. If he could have gotten around that Galio and locked down Kha'Zix, that would have been a clean kill.
That was part of the issue, though, was because Galio was so close. Using that ulti earlier, likely it would have auto-targeted onto Galio before
most
he
likely.
could get close.
I don't know if getting away from Galio was a possibility, but didn't get much mileage out of ult regardless. So we're looking at mid lane. Kled is dominating in CS. Of course, has the 1 kill as well, so that's helping a lot. Top lane, Swede, I believe. Can never remember. Swide's LeBlanc is holding on there, having gold from the kills, but still behind in CS, probably about evens out. I think the lane swap is definitely a good decision because LeBlanc's not going to do anything against Galio, and at least that strange top lane matchup is seemingly putting a little work. We see a roam from support, which is nice. He's clearing out that pink ward while keeping Galio safe.
I'm kind of interested by the Galio's decision to go for cloth armor rather than the Doran's ring, though, after on his first buy. I'm curious if that was just he didn't have the money to go for the full 400 Doran's ring, which is kind of sad.
The hell is that? We see double Negatron coming out from Galio. Okay, look, you're losing in CS. You're out of flash.
He's going top lane now, though, so that's why it's double Negatron cloak. Okay. Because he wants to go against the LeBlanc now. They want to switch up. Draven had his attempts at killing LeBlanc and just inted under tower.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Boston is seeing a little overextended here. Galio's flash was back up. Lee's flash is out. We're seeing an ult to protect the Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is probably in good position to take this 1v1 unless Boston is combined some help. Boston is out of the flash. Can he jump to the blast cone? There's no blast cone to jump to. He jumps back onto Kha'Zix, who has to flash away. Kled, non-responsive in the mid lane, but Swede does pick up the kill. Kled is starting to come down. He does not have his ultimate just yet, but if Sweet can stick onto him, nothing else is going to happen here. So that's a 1-for-1.
Kled might flash this wall here.
Ooh, that would be nice. He's going to ult onto him pretty soon.
I don't think he's going to bother with the ulti because that's enough lockdown there. So,
wow. 2-for-1 for TBW, and SLM really on point with those question mark pings, letting their mid laner know, hey, what the heck's going on, man? We needed you there. Meanwhile, Draven's trying to get back into this game after suiciding twice to a top lane LeBlanc.
Yeah. It's a series of unfortunate events so far for SLM with this game.
Right. I just really don't see what their team needs to do at this point because they're behind already. Their team composition doesn't shine for a late game.
And their late game is it's bad to underestimate their late game, but that's a dead Draven.
That's a flash gone, and Kled needs to be ulting on cooldown because every one of these lanes is extremely vulnerable now, including the Kha'Zix, who's not terribly far ahead, sitting at 1-1. We should be seeing TBW pushing this lead early, winning fights. Like
good flash by Jinx to get out of that tidal wave.
Yeah,
down in
smart
the
flashing to the side and not behind because
those vertical flashes, nice juke by LeBlanc.
Yeah, look at this. This is the second time we're seeing this. He's just jumping around, avoiding every single spell he throws.
Yeah.
Support roaming around, and actually TBW has spotted vision of Hato, where he should not be on top of a ward. Flashes to try to chase him, but do not quite lock on. No ult for Kled, but we do see a cocoon land, and the E is enough to jump over.
And that's a pause.
And a bug splat for Jinx.
Well, that's unfortunate, especially because Jinx is currently standing in the middle of a team fight.
I see two champions that are about to die as soon as this game is unpaused.
Pretty much. Jinx... No, she doesn't have flash. She's dead. But looking at this game, to get back into this game for SLM, I really think you just need to try and slow down. Like, there's too many fights going on at this point.
Right. Their lanes are still being aggressive despite being flashless, down on kills, and look at the ward control by... Well, I'm wrong there, actually. That's SLM's ward. So they do have these aggressive wards coming out from
Jinx
support.
is alive for at least 2 more seconds. Kled will be going in, tanking the tower.
For long. Blue Eternity, the sub 4 TBW, is going to be taking that kill. Will he pay for it? Draven does not pick up the kill. A nice save by Captain Spencer's heal. Draven is flashless here. They do not have a Kled ult, but Varus is going to chase on the stun, and that's going to be curtains. TBW moving up to grab this first Ocean Drake. Should be able to get it pretty cleanly. Galio has a tower hitting his wave, yet he's walking to his mid lane. I don't know what. Did that Draven walk down from top lane for that fight? No, he had switched.
No, he was mid lane. Yeah, he just walked a little bit over from mid. So.
And they're switching again. So Draven's going to go back to top. Galio's going to sit in the mid lane again. Flash coming up soon with an ultimate. SLM needs to buckle up because if they're going to win this, it's going to be late.
Yeah.
And they need to stop fighting,
That,
as you said.
at the very least, they do have more technical late game power.
LeBlanc is suspicious. She sees the people coming up.
Yeah.
And she should be pretty safe to avoid any conflict.
Maybe.
Unless they want to fight. I don't... Oh, okay. So what I didn't see is that SLM went onto the Herald, and Kled and Elise are going to come up to encourage them to leave it alone.
Yeah. That is one of the tools that could help SLM try and get back into this game, is sneaking at something like a Rift Herald. Because Rift Herald is actually really good for getting your lanes back in, because not only does it give you the summon, but it gives you like the Baron type teleport. So if you need to just duck in and out of lane quickly and repeatedly, having that 4-second back instead of the normal full 8 seconds, it actually really helps a lot.
So here we see the team splitting up quite a bit. Or they're grouping in these small. You see 3 SLM top. You see 2 TBW uncontested bot lane, 2 TBW getting the mid tower. I'm not sure what this rotation's about. We saw Galio had to ult Draven there, and LeBlanc just jumped right back out. You can't follow up on that with a Galio ult.
Yeah, and Root lands onto Jinx, so
4 members in the bot lane. They dive the flashless Jinx and get a clean kill. Blue Eternity's Nami almost going down there, but does survive. And we're seeing 10-1 at 13 minutes with a 6k gold lead. This is one of the most dominating early games we have seen all season.
Yeah, and a lot of it is just SLM is in the wrong place at the wrong time, and Jinx should not have been bot lane there. I know you want to try and save that tower, but it's not the right call when you've got 4 of your members on the top side and 4 of the enemy team missing.
You know what? It's easy to say that, but look at the vision she had. There is no way to know. I mean, they had a pink in the tri-brush.
And that's exactly...
Leading up to that dive, there was no vision because Karma had been top lane for the past minute or so.
That's the exact point that I'm making, though, is that she didn't have vision of anyone, so why would you want to go near the tower if you know that there could be 4 people there?
Juke still has flash. Kha'Zix might be able to catch back up, however. Kha'Zix flashes on, and that is a kill for Swide. Flashing that mastery mode to say, hey, I know I'm losing by 6k, but...
I've got the only 2 kills on my team. I'm clearly the carry here. I'm not the one feeding. Please don't report me. That's what that mastery emote said to me.
Right. So now we're seeing SLM trying to get some power damage, but they're overstaying. Elise is coming around. No vision on Elise with 2 coming in. No flash on Kha'Zix. Hopefully they have it tracked. Good save by Galio, actually. Might get the 1-for-1. He does not. So this is going to be a clean 2-for-0 for TBW if they can just wrap up this kill. Because Galio just used his flash to try to save Kha'Zix.
Yeah.
Giving it over to Captain Spencer. And meanwhile, we see it fighting in mid lane. That Kled remount is scary. Is he going to get the kill on Dreer Prince? He does not. The exhaust comes out. He's unmounted again. Decides to flash out. The flash. He's locked down. And that is curtains. He is dead. As SLM gives up a tower top lane, they do get another kill mid lane.
But most importantly, Draven finally has some gold in his pocket. It's a miracle.
Not cashing on very much. Is this Jinx going to turn this fight around?
No.
Swide is running low on health. He's being pounded by minions. But this... Oh, that was a careless flash. You should know you got to flash that earlier.
Yeah. Either flash earlier or don't flash at all on that. It's... Yeah. This is one of those games that you don't really like as a caster, because there's only so many ways that you can say, man, they screwed up.
Right. So now, TBW kind of forcing the Herald here. They have decent vision, and they do see the other team coming to contest, as they had vision in the try as well. So, I don't know. I don't really feel like any team has enough top lane dominance to take this Herald.
It depends on who you consider their top laner, because it's kind of swapped back and forth several times this match.
The only way they're going to get Herald is if they put a lot of pressure on mid lane. Probably do a nice split like this. If Kled can push up without dying and have them keep 3 on Herald, then Kled's going to run in as soon as SLM tries to contest. As soon as SLM tries to contest, Kled's going to ult in, and it's going to be a favorable 4v4 for TBW. They do not finish off the Herald. Kled is out of lane, does not latch on to the ulted Kled. Sorry, does not latch on to the ulted Kha'Zix.
Yeah, Rift Herald has not reset yet.
And Bosnus is separated from his team, has to use a flash, but here is the engage. We see a Nami ult into the Kled. And not only your kills dropping top lane, but another solo kill for LeBlanc on that Jinx. Jinx, no summoners, sitting duck. So TBW takes... They bait out the overextension from SLM, although Elise had to burn the flash, and they just re-engage with that Kled Nami. There's so little you can do to get away from that once you are caught out of position.
Yeah. And here comes the freshly gained Rift Herald. So that's going to be a lot of tower health down here.
Right. They should get this mid tower pretty cleanly. No real D's in.
Oh, don't...
Oh, my goodness.
Is that...
Ooh,
Ooh,
they
yeah.
canceled the teleport as well.
Did not
trying to pick up kills for his team.
Well...
And there is the early surrender from SLM.
Yep.
That is a well-deserved 17-minute victory for TBW, and they ought to be happy about how they played that game. SLM, support lives matter, need desperately to fix their draft phase. That team was near hopeless from the start, and as confusing as the lane swaps were, they did not play to the jungler correctly, and they lost any hope of an advantage they could have gotten from that early game swap, team comp, whatever you want to call it. So TBW did not fall for the cheese, if you want to say, kept their composition, played to their strength, and
that's not right.
Won in dominating fashion.
Oh, I see what happens. I labeled these wrong. That is one for TBW and not one for SLM. I need to adjust that, but... Oh, well, it's fixed now. So, yeah, I don't know what you do to, like... I mean, you change out your draft completely on that one. Maybe not take Draven top lane. But, like, even without the draft, that was just a lot of mistakes. That really shouldn't happen.
I think the problem stems from the weak draft and just makes it an uphill battle for SLM to win a game like that. I hope to see a smarter, more reserved draft here. Even if it means, you know, playing the meta, playing something that's not your favorite, they really can't put themselves in that position again, because TBW is not going to lose, not going to, you know, fall over early game just because of some unusual champions.
Yeah, it's definitely a couple adjustments need to be made there. And I need to do a couple adjustments here, so perhaps we should take a small break.
Okay,
and
sounds good to me.
We'll be back very shortly. Stick around.
Stay tuned, guys. We have a good game coming up.
in a league of your own, created by you, for you. 2 leagues and 20 teams.
Wants to go in, shot right views on him.
Some are chosen to answer the call.
He's stuck with 1v4, but he's actually winning this 1v4.
Some are not. Will you be one of them? There will be obstacles. There will be quitters.
Well, this is Young Grub Mixtape, the jungler for LAG.
Redbox just pulled him dead again. The support flashes and nice stuff, and this might be it for the Mises.
Tomorrow we're playing against the Silver Wolves. I don't know why they came up with that name because only 2 of them are silver and the rest of them are just a group of boosted trash.
Misses me, let again. Dripless with a nice dash, and Cosmetic Radiance coming out. Dripless gets kicked in, Red is in the backline, but he's invulnerable. Aqua trying to lift this fight.
Spike can defend again.
It's too late. And top and Raidboss might be in trouble here. Oh, nice fight right now.
Will you join? Will you leave your mark? 10 teams battle it out for glory. Who will be victorious? And who will be the losers?
Bag is not even close here, so this is gonna be a free. Oh, he missed the snag!
10 weeks of intense competition.
It's actually, oh, the redemption coming in, and there's the Ash. They do get the pull onto the Soraka. Soraka does fall, and this Darius does end up falling. Late heal bash, Aqua will go down, and it looks like that could be the game for Ellie. How's the kill going to this Ash?
There will be people who stand in your way, and things won't always be easy. But will you prove that you have what it takes to succeed? Well, you show us.
Here, autoing them down to death. Nice ultimate by Young Blood. Double kill for Dating King. Triple kill? Triple kill for Dating King. Oh wait, this might be in trouble here. Drippin wants to go in. The support falls off first. Drippin trying to fight Hunter 1v1. Who wins this fight? I have no idea.
Oh my god.
Autoing him down. Really used by Drippin. Flashing the Hunter. Ultimate, oh my goodness. This is a Roman is gonna go down here. Barrier used. Nice shockwave.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Risen Esports Dominate League playoffs. Torn Butthole and Support Lives Matter. 1-0 for Torn Butthole. I am Kevin Noteman Kyle, and with me here,
I am Brett Bestrin Olivier, and we're getting ready for game 2.
and hopefully it's a little bit better.
Yeah, that was a series of questionable decisions by a certain team in that last game. We saw some very off-the-wall picks and some lane swapping strategy going around, and it really did not pay off for Support Lives Matter. So, as we said before we left for the break, we're really hoping to see a more reserved and normal draft from SLM to hopefully win off of, the skill that got them here in the first place.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that they take a bit more time with their draft and their gameplay. Maybe put out a few more wards, play a little bit more safe in the early game, and, not drop 10 kills in 10 minutes. Or 10 deaths, I should say.
Are we ready for draft here?
I believe we are. We just have to make sure the teams are ready.
Yep. All right. Let's switch on over and get this started.
Bam, I'm getting a lot better at that.
All right, so SLM, they need to probably ban Elise here. I'm trying to think of any target bans. LeBlanc. I don't know if LeBlanc was the issue there. I really think it was more so just their strong early game jungler getting SLM ahead. Getting TBW ahead. But I think they need to shut Bosmiss down off of his presumably small champion pool. TBW losing their ban again for their emergency sub, their E-sub. But SLM is going to be targeting Suicide again, unless Fizz is a top lane ban. But we saw Fizz come out last game. TBW...
You mean last week? Or come out in the bans?
No, he was banned. He was banned last game as well.
Okay, yeah.
SLM...
I don't know about a Soraka ban in that. I don't think a Soraka was a problem in that.
Okay, Soraka wasn't in the last game.
Yeah.
SLM, I really think you have to change something. I don't think you can, keep target banning when, I don't know. We'll see if it pays off for them. TBW, I'd like to see them ban Draven, but maybe they said, hey, well, they didn't do anything last game. Why not leave them open? So yeah. Soraka Lee Sin coming out for TBW's bans. SLM,
they're going for the Draven again.
Mm-hmm. We saw them pick it up in their first pick last draft phase, and TBW, I expect Talia here, now that it's open for Suicide, and maybe Kled as well. Go for that awesome engage.
No, so, the Elise is the more important pickup there, I think, than the Kled.
At least Talia coming out. TBW, I expect them to pick up Kled if it's left open. If it's still up after these two picks, well, definitely go Kled. Regardless of matchup, it's a good pick.
Unless that Draven's top lane again. Which could be...
I have no idea what's going
Tarek.
on.
I like the Tarek pick. I like the Tarek pick.
These are two champions we haven't seen too much in Dominate League yet. Support maybe played a couple games with Tarek. I don't know if anybody's really been playing Kassadin. But still, I think TBW says, okay, we see what you're picking, but we're going to go with what makes us comfortable. I see Kled pick here. I think Ted Kled... Boy, oh boy. I think Ted Kled Talia is too good of a combo.
Nami.
They still go with the engage. They still go with Nami.
Yeah.
Maybe they wanted to hold off on until they see the top lane opponent for SLM if they're not sure if it's Draven. But SLM, what if they ban Ashe Varus here? Or if they ban Kled Varus? Try to deny some of that engage that TBW wants to run.
Yeah, there's the Kled.
And I would put money that they're going to ban and engage AD carry, either Varus or Ashe here. TBW, what do they still have to ban? Junglers and AD carry?
Either jungle and AD carry or top lane, because it all depends on where that Draven goes.
Yeah. And there's the Ashe. There's your engage AD carry. So I expect TBW to pick up Varus. If not this pick, then next.
I mean, Varus Nami worked out just fine for them last game, so...
Absolutely. And with the Talia on top of that, their engage is going to be scary. TBW's Galio ban is a little interesting. They played against it last game. Didn't have any trouble. Maybe they said, hey, I just don't want to play against that. Or maybe they have another pick in mind that Galio would give trouble to.
The Ivern in the jungle. That's an interesting one.
That's a good pick. A more defensive team coming from SLM. I'd like to see a frontliner come out as their last pick, unless it's their AD carry pick. Maybe? I am too confused.
Yeah. That Draven pick kind of throws everything through a loop. Because it's not a pick that should be flexible, but it is. And it's hovering the Swain. Nope, Tryndamere.
Okay. We are going to see Tryndamere top lane, I assume. I wouldn't really consider that a frontliner, but boy, they have a lot of they have an interesting team fight.
They could be looking to go for a kind of 4-1 or 1-3-1 split with the Kassadin and the Tryndamere.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Tarek and Ivern to keep Draven safe in the mid lane, assuming, because that's how you would usually run 1-3-1. And
is that
Sona?
I wouldn't. That might be a mispick. What do they still need? A jungler? No.
Nope, they need a top laner.
Irelia.
It's supposed to be Irelia?
Okay, so that's an Irelia pick for the Tryndamere, as they've corrected in the chat.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, TBW picks somebody to try to, put a hold on that 4-1 or that 1-3-1. Irelia somebody who can hold her own while looking for engages in the other team. I expect to see a TP out of Irelia. Tryndamere may or may not run TP. I probably Ignite, to be honest, and just focus on his towers, you know. But TBW's late game strategy is gonna be about the same as last time. Is hit the go button, you know. Fight when we want to fight. Keep them from running down our towers in a 1-3-1 or a 4-1, and they have the right comp to do that. So if they play to their strengths, they have a good looking team.
Yeah.
SLM, on the other hand, a bit of a hodgepodge of different archetypes going on here.
I actually like this draft a lot more than the last one, which, to be fair, isn't hard to do, but
true.
I like the idea because this is very clearly a 1-3-1 comp coming out from SLM.
Mm-hmm. As long as they can keep Cassin and Tryndamere on their feet, then they have two big threats to hopefully control TBW's engage comp.
Yeah.
This is something we haven't seen much out of this league, you know, trying to counter an engage comp with a split push comp, and I'd like to see how this works out for SLM. This might be the answer that they're looking for to contest TBW's comfort picks.
Yeah. There's just one issue that I have with SLM going for this 1-3-1 comp, and that's the fact that this composition requires quite a bit of scaling. And based on what we saw last game, I'm not saying that they can't do it, but based on the aggression that they showed, which was extremely easily punished by Bosomness's Elise, if they play that aggressive again, they're just asking for another quick 15-minute game.
Right. And the more I think about it, the more I like the 1-3-1. I'm not a huge fan of the Draven, but of course that's a big comfort pick for Dreer Prince. But you're trying to peel off. You've got these two great supportive characters. Iron and Terra are going to be shielding, peeling, keeping Draven safe. The only thing that can make it better.
I don't believe Dreer Prince is playing the Draven.
You think Draven's going to Katsuo?
Yes, because just based on how they're picking in the lobby, so far everybody's picked their own champion, and Dreer Prince is the one that grabbed Tryndamere.
Well, then in that case, I think a wave clear AD carry would have been a lot better. Because Draven, he's got good damage, he's fine late game, fine early game, but he is not a wave clear. Imagine if you had a Caitlyn here, or Sivir, or something along those lines.
That's the scary part about this composition, is there is zero wave clear on this team.
Yeah, it's possible that they didn't decide on 1-3-1 until it was too late. But my only complaint about their team comp is Draven. Unless he gets really far ahead, TBW is going to be able to run and just run down lanes.
I don't mind the Draven so much. You have to either change up the Draven pick or the Kassadin pick. One of those two has to get some wave clear for this composition.
But we'll see how they can make it work. I really like the edge they're taking, and their team comp is near perfect for what they're trying to accomplish. Right now, looking at, we see Ignite on the Tryndamere. So
going for lane dominance.
Yeah, as expected. Pretty standard everywhere else. I'm curious to see if Talia... so Suwide and I are both the main Talia players in the Dominate League. We both have very different tastes on how to play the champion. Whereas I think he typically runs Teleport or a Defensor Summoner spell and builds like Morellos into damagey sort of stuff. I prefer to go for Exhaust and GLP, the hose, to kind of keep people controlled. So two different tastes for the champion. I expect him to stick to what he's been doing and go for that high damage Talia. That's really going to be a threat for SLM.
Yeah, and the high damage Talia I could see working a lot better in the early game against the Kassadin anyways, because you've got that range advantage, you've got that pushing power, you've got really easy ways to duel Kassadin early. So
yeah, I definitely like that matchup early for mid lane. Starting to look at the lanes now. Draven Taric, pretty safe. Varus Nami does not have huge early pressure, and the Draven Taric does have some sustain. So I do like. Yeah. I would give the bot lane advantage to SLM. It's kind of hard to say jungle matchups with an Ivern. He kind of just does his own thing and hopefully in the right lane at the right time.
The early game jungle matchup should 100% go to Elise. There shouldn't be any question about that. Because Elise just has really good clear, great tools for ganking early, really high damage early. So Ivern's main playstyle is he wants to get into the enemy's jungle, take away a few camps, scale up a little bit, get that early redemption, early support items, and then around level 5, level 6, once he gets Daisy going, that's when he gets into the lanes and he starts doing things. He's not that great at early ganking. He's a decent counter ganker, but still not the best because he really doesn't offer any damage outside of what your laner already brings.
Another thing we could be seeing is if Boston game, he could look to be hunting for Ivern in his jungle, especially after the recent nerfs that leave Ivern with a lot less health after clearing.
Yeah.
At least his scary early game could be a big threat to him. Especially after coming off of a great game like that, he's going to be feeling confident. He's going to be bloodthirsty, and I would expect to see Elise roaming around in the blue side jungle early on.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup again. Once again, this kind of leads into who's going to win in the jungle. Same as last game. And last game, Bossomness just blew it out of the park. I
think not only does Hato need to survive and make it to that point where he's a useful champion, but he needs to be able to track his jungler, the enemy jungler for his team.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who needs to be heads up about what's Elite's clear time, what's Elite's preferred patterns, where's she going to be, and how do I keep my lane safe? Because if he can get those counter gank timings well, or at least keep his laners to respect the Elise at the right time, or whoever's in charge of that, I assume it's the jungle, but whoever's in charge of that needs to communicate to keep this Elise down before Bossomness gets on a killing spree like he did last game.
Yeah. And that's the other problem that SLM has in this draft is most of their lanes aren't necessarily winning lanes, especially the important one in the mid lane. So if Bossomness wants to invade onto Ivern and, get all up in his face, try to find him while he's low and gets an early kill on him or something like that, he's going to be free to do that because both of his lanes are going to be pushing in most likely.
I don't know too much about the Irelia Tryndamere.
Yeah.
I expect Tryndamere is going to let it push in because he doesn't want to go on the death-filled road he did last game. So I expect...
That being said, Tryndamere's running Ignite.
True. So I don't know which way that lane is going to push. Mid lanes should definitely push in towards Kassadin, leaving Suide to open to assist the Elise, either in warding or in invading. And that could be that could spell trouble for Ivern. Bot lane should be fairly balanced. It'll probably stay one lane, but I don't expect to see... You know what? I don't expect to see Nami leaving lane, but support loves to roam around. So we could be seeing him around trying to keep his Ivern safe, at least with wards, if not following him at some point.
Yeah, but that could spell some big issues for the Draven if it's played in a similar manner to the last game. It is a different player on that Draven, but it's going to be interesting to see how Sport Lives Matter takes this game and adjusts how they played.
So right off the bat, we're seeing a defensive start from SLM, and we're seeing intentional feeding pings coming out from TBW down the mid lane. Talia has no reserves, showing herself mid.
Yeah.
SLM is sticking together, but like we saw TBW do last game, they don't have a lot of vision at their jungle entrances. So although they're together and strong as a pack, when they split up, for all they know, they could be vulnerable. But once again, TBW is going to sit back, not going to be over-aggressive at level 1. I think it's going to be more like level 3, where TBW is going to find their best opportunity to invade and be aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Once Elise clears her first couple camps and make sure everything goes fine, Sweet is going to find Hato there in the jungle. Tried to get a cheeky little invade going on there.
Yeah, very predictable. Suide in the right position. Checking in for that bush. He's going to move up to keep an eye on things, but I think Ivern knows, okay, well, that's not going to work. So we're going to see blue side starts from both these junglers. I expect Elise to go blue, wolves, red, scuttle, or gank. I don't know much about Ivern's clear. Elise could even look to... Elise knows he's starting blue side. So Elise could maybe full clear blue and stick around towards Ivern's red side. That's an option if he's looking to be really aggressive. Talia's already pushing up. It'd be nice to see him get a ward down by Raptors or by Red soon. As Cassidy does not push back out easily. Elise is going to cross over.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that...
This is going to be a rough matchup for Cassidy early, so...
Absolutely. I kind of would have liked to see TBW be a lot more... There's no way Cassidy can outpush Talia, and Elise has every right to invade, early on. So,
yeah.
Elise either should have stayed on blue side or maybe started red to come over to blue once they learned that Ivern was starting on his blue, Because now she's in no position to go in on the Ivern. Maybe instead she'll look for a gank top or mid lane.
Yeah, I want to make a little note that I noticed there is that Aurelia started out with her Equilibrium Strike, which isn't normally, it's not an unusual thing or anything, but against the Tryndamere, I really like it, because a lot of Tryndameres will try to get that rage up and get that extra crit chance, and then do a really early level 1 all-in, and try to get a good kill off of that, and the Equilibrium Strike just stops that in its tracks, because as soon as you take a little bit of damage,
it's... gank, as Elise is coming up unspotted, forced to burn a flash here. Honestly, I think you save it.
Oh!
Good dodge on the stun.
That was almost a Mad Life flash prediction.
Once again, either somebody's not calling where Elise is, or Dreer Prince is not respecting it. Exact same as last time. He clears 3 camps, just as Elise always does, and Dreer Prince is unwarded at 3 minutes. You cannot do that. That is complete disrespect to a jungler who showed that he knows how to path.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if the trouble... I don't know if the trouble is with the top laner not respecting the call, or if it's on Hato or whoever the shot caller is, who's clearly not trusting Elise.
In my personal opinion, that one's on the top laner. Pretty much every top laner should know 3 minutes, that's when the jungle comes out. So if you're not warded up in one of the jungle entrances at 3 minutes, you're just asking for trouble, especially if you're trying to push up and play aggressive like Dreer Prince has off to do. And then doing it 2 games in a row as well.
Especially after the punishment he received last game. That's careless. And they will punish him for it. Boston is not going to say oh, okay, whatever, I'll go burn flashes in other lanes. No, he's going to kill that Tryndamere while he still can, because in 5-8 minutes, you're not going to be able to kill that Tryndamere very easily.
Yeah, and just so everyone knows, it was Draven disconnected for that pause, so he's back now. Had some kind of a computer issue or network issue, I guess. But Talia interrupting the Kassadin back there. So
yeah, they were looking for a potential dive.
They might still be looking for it. Elisa's creeping around that tower. And Kassadin's got nowhere to go. Really nice flash.
E out in a second. Yep. One more auto attack from Swede. That's going to do it nice and easy. And a stun coming onto bot lane, well placed by support. And they might be able to kill Varus here to get the first kill for SLM, but it does not
able to chase that one.
Jungler's not around, so they do get out with only burning Nami's exhaust, which means the support's traded secondary spells.
Yeah. I'm really impressed with how Bosomness is playing these early games so far, though.
He's doing what Elise should be doing. He's not doing anything outstanding, but he's in the right place and he's not falling behind.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is SLM not respecting what Elise wants to do. None of this is extremely surprising. I guess that dive was a little unusual, but there's no reason they couldn't have had vision on Elise coming into another topside jungle after recently ganking the Tryndamere.
Yeah. But and that was relatively well played by Pitbull underneath the tower, being able to flash away from a lot of the damage. And if it wasn't Elise taking that tower, which she should have at any point.
Alright, so Elise came through warded, but still able to burn Draven's flash. So whether he didn't react in time, but there was a ward when Elise first came in. So I think that was an avoidable summoner spell, but perhaps not. At the same time, we saw Ivern ganking top. They were able to get Sugar Doodle's flash out, as Aurelia had no escape, but she does survive after only losing 1 summoner spell.
Yeah. And Aurelia's pretty good at staying under tower, just happily farming away even at low health, because of that He-10 style and the Equilibrium Strike. It's really hard to dive in Aurelia.
Although it looks like Aurelia missed a hit Equilibrium Strike just there, trying to get aggressive onto the Tryndamere, who was pushing.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. You know what I don't see? I don't see any wards top lane, and I don't see a flash either. It's still down. Hopefully they're tracking it, because this should be a dead Tryndamere.
And they
Finish him.
should
Finish
give
him,
it over
you
to...
fools!
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
They wanted to try and give it away to Sugar Doodle there, but it wasn't available. Elise still had the repel, so it wasn't really like Tryndamere was going to be able to walk away from that one.
It was almost. His flash was almost up as well.
Yeah.
Trying to be a little too nice there, almost cost him the kill, but they do wrap it up. Tryndamere has no teleport. Ivern cannot hold this tower very well, so they're doing the right thing by pushing up. Ooh, actually, Suwide was looking to come in, probably collapse on the Ivern.
Yeah, he still might do that because Ivern's stuck around.
He better be backing out.
Suwide's still got the ulti.
Okay, so he does get the snare onto the Elise, flashes away, but his chances are slim. Actually, this is quite swappy by TBW, and they say, uh-oh, didn't quite land on what we need to. Tryndamere's going to be back soon. Kassadin's missing. We're going to back up. And they pull the right move there. Not sacrificing any deaths to agree dive to say, we can win this in other ways. So we're going to back off after using the Cleo, which is a good look. You know, you want to be aggressive. You want to show that you and make them respect you. So good escape by the Ivern there, avoiding a couple skill shots and not losing his life. Only burnt one flash. And this looks like it's another bug splat. Ugh.
Yep. Unfortunately, Draven is down again. It was Katsuo last time as well, right? Like in the last game?
It was.
Yeah. So, having some issues with their client.
Hopefully it gets resolved soon. Not very fun to watch, but it is what it is. Hopefully back into the game soon. So, how are things looking right now? We see pretty good vision from both teams, aggressive warding. You know, most of these river wards are leaning towards the other side of on their own side of the jungle, in some cases, but also have a couple pinks in good aggressive positions. Computer blue screen. He's gonna be out for a while.
Oh, so we got some time then.
Yep. Trying to look at summoner spells and such. You have teleport down for Kassadin. I'm wondering what these teams want to look at next. Kassadin is hitting 6, although he's still not very. He can hold his own in the 1v1 now, but he's still not a threat unless he gets a numbers advantage. He's not going to be a huge threat for a while. But the teleport coming up could present an opportunity to get his bot lane. How's their bot lane looking on CS? Bot lane is actually ahead despite the bug spawn. Draven is ahead of Varus a little bit, which is kind of be expected. You know, Varus, Nami, not a phenomenal early game team, whereas Draven's always going to be that threat.
Yeah.
Kassadin should hopefully start to catch up on CS now. Ashe, Tryndamere? I don't know. Tryndamere might still... I don't think he's been zoned. I think that's more of just him losing 10 from dying.
I do like the Aurelia's initial purchases here in this Tryndamere lane while Tryndamere's running Ignite.
Mm-hmm. Give him all the respect he needs.
Start with the Doran Shield, get into Ninja Tabai. You're not killing Aurelia.
It is not your job to kill Tryndamere. So that is absolutely the right build, because the only way you lose that lane is giving up kills.
Yeah.
So that's going to allow her to negate so much damage, keep her in lane, keep her tower safe.
Yeah. And the Ninja Tabai are a good buy for building against this Draven as well too. So, which is like Kassadin's should be doing a fair amount of damage late game, but a lot of the pressure that Aurelia will face will either come from the Draven or the Tryndamere most likely. Right. So Ninja Tabai will really help with that.
Look at all the vision Aurelia has in this top lane. Really no way in on her, even under tower. So. Ooh, if Suwide chases this, he's in trouble. He does. Yeah. He chases into the blind bush. We see Hato come out for the first time, and his gank is successful. Watson just wants to turn around. He might... No, the shield comes out just in time. He's going to have a spell shield, a magic shield in a second. And that's going to keep him alive.
Double kill. Oh, paused. It's... there were issues there. Somebody had a bug splat where their screen turned gray on TBW side, and that was not expected.
No, that's the limit. No. Wow. Okay, so we're seeing DC from Bossomness and from Suwide, supposedly, and a blue screen from Support Lives, AD Carry. What is going on? This is interesting, to say the least. Something I want to point out here, look at how far down the river Dreer Prince already is. His mid lane was fighting, and I don't know if he was there by coincidence clearing the scuttle, or if he was ready to react so quickly. And at the same time, you see red team coming up. So both teams reacting super quick to the 2v2 mid, and that's really good to see these teams responding to that, not just sitting in their lanes, because that's going to lead for some exciting action, especially if these 2v2s start to become 4v4s. We're going to see some good fights around this mid game.
Yeah, no, that's really good map awareness by the top and bot lanes of the two teams, respectively. When you're pushed in, you might as well back out and be ready to go down to mid lane for a fight like this. And shows some really good calling in the comms from both teams. That they had people, hey, we've got a free time, if you need us, call us, and they got called. Unfortunately for Bossomness and Suicide, they still died.
Yeah. So Suicide clearly disadvantaged there when Ivern got the drop on Talia, because Ivern was able to get there before Elise did. So
yeah,
the fight turned in their favor. Elise not able to pick it up and overextended for the kill. If you knew ahead of time, I'm not going to kill this Cassim, you get out safely.
Yeah.
But tries to get the kill, tries to make it a 1-for-1, ends up being a 2-for-0. We're back in game now. We see top lane and bot lanes returning to where they need to be, and things are as they should be. Blue side's currently unwarded, and they have been pushing, so I expect them to push out, get some vision in the river to prevent the Elise gank. But Elise is pathing top side. There was not a lot of aggressive jungle vision coming down from either team, and I really expected a lot more from TBW to keep tabs on that Ivern. I expected it from TBW, but I think SLM needs it more, because they really need to keep an eye on where Bossomness is, because his ganks have gone almost, without fail for 2 games straight now.
Yeah, and we see in the top lane, Aurelia is actually trading quite well with this Tryndamere so far, other than a couple unlucky crits. Or lucky, depending on whose side you look at.
Flash is up, and Elise comes in unwarded again. This Dreer Prince not respecting. He flashes onto the flash Aurelia, does pick up the kill, should fall here. And that's just what Tryndamere does. Suicide was already up to the top lane without having ulted yet, ready to back him up. Could get turned down here, but I think he's safe enough.
Yeah, he'll be fine there.
Dreer Prince, I know you're an 80 carry, but you got a ward, especially after being punished for it repeatedly. I actually see Suicide's going to drop here. I think, that is a good knock away. That is the target to save yourself from. Because if Ivern comes in, that's a flash snare, and Caston gets to run freely on you, but denying the Ivern instead of the Caston was definitely the right choice there.
Yeah, absolutely, especially because Caston's blink was right back up as soon as that knockback finished anyways, so he would have been right back on top.
Yeah, Ivern would have gotten in there, probably tanked the tower as well, and that would have spelled death for Suicide. So he's able to get out saving his barrier. Flash was not up, but he saves barrier by knocking away the right target and hitting it as well. So very well done to him, even though it was a smart gank from SLM.
Yeah. That's a key point some people forget about, is it's not just choosing the target, you gotta hit the spell too.
That's a hard spell to hit. I promise you, that W is delayed and it's small, and it shows where it's gonna hit. So
and then sometimes you point it the wrong direction on accident.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you knock them into you, and then you die, and it's like, oh yeah, no, that was totally planned. I planned to kill myself.
Unwarded, and Ivern's trying to come help this Tryndamere. So Tryndamere is baiting the fight because he's. But what he doesn't know is that Elise is there to stop the Ivern.
Yeah, and Ivern's gonna get turned on here.
Cassidy, but Ivern should be dead before Cassidy arrives.
Yeah.
Suice's here as well. Uses the ult to cut them off, but Suice's not in a good position. His team is not in the right spot to back him up, and they're gonna take him down without any help from his team. Barrier to stay up alive a little longer, and CBW turns away from that fight, knowing that Tryndamere still has his ult up.
Yeah, that's a little bit of miscommunication there on that one.
Yeah, I think that falls on Talia there going in when her team was not in a position to follow her up. You could have thrown the wall and not ridden it and still been in a good position, but you needed your team. You can't fight those two on your own. So just a little misplay there. Good roam from both mid laners, and that one, was it 1-for-1?
1-for-1.
I believe it was.
Yeah,
1-for-1
Ivern for Talia.
Mm-hmm.
So, but also a good job on Caston following up the roam, to make sure that kill got traded back.
Absolutely. So, despite being a little blind in the river, SLM is able to survive that gank, and 1-for-1 is not too bad, especially when this Elise.
Yeah, especially when it really shouldn't have been 1-for-1.
Yeah, right. Not a lot of jungle vision coming down from either team. I'm sorry, river vision is what I meant to say. Not a lot of river vision coming down from either team. Elise is going to pick up her blue here and probably look to gank because she doesn't have big buffs coming up soon.
To be fair, you weren't wrong. There's not a lot of jungle vision either. And that's another pause. I gotta ask at this point, is there a limit to the number of pauses that teams have?
There's a
league?
time limit. There's a time limit. And we're not quite there yet. But if we do get past 10 minutes and one team wants to enforce it, they'll either force a 4v5 or a forfeit.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't come down to that, as most of the teams here are pretty fair and understanding, but some people do have schedules, to adhere to.
Yeah. And do we know what caused the pause this time around?
Nope.
I did not see anything in the chat, so...
But both teams are ready. So something I want to point out, I believe in the last game as well, Dragon has not been a huge priority. Both times we've seen an Ocean Drake come out first, and I don't know if TBW is just ignoring their bot lane, but even with their lead last game, they didn't ever attempt the Dragon. Rift Herald was more of a priority for both teams. So we do see Cassidy trying to get onto this Talia with the Ivern incoming.
Yeah, Ivern did miss the snare there, so there really wasn't much for Talia to be scared of after that.
Definitely a good attempt, and the kind of gank you have to show that you're not afraid to do.
Yeah.
Ooh, Elise finds the Ivern in his jungle, but backs off because Cassidy's going to get out. But if Suicide comes in, this could be a favorable 2v2 for TBW, as they're clearly more healthy right at the moment.
Excuse me.
But they do back off because the blue bot lane leaves before TBW can respond, and they do not want to fight this, 3v5 looking like, without the bot lane there.
Yeah,
so.
Looks like it. Aurelia and Tryndamere are dueling it out in the top side of the jungle there a bit.
So TBW, respecting the roams, peels out of a possibly favorable fight in order to save themselves from death. Tryndamere finds Aurelia roaming down, and both come away mostly unharmed.
Yeah, and
Cassidy's getting close to death percentage, to a point where Talia could one-shot, depending, maybe not quite yet, but getting close, because his health is deceptive, with that AP shield on demand.
Yeah, and also since Talia is basically all skill shots, it's kind of hard, not the easiest target to one-shot.
Mm-hmm. Once again, Drift Prince wardless, and Boston finds him again. He does have flash. He does. I expect no kills here unless Drift Prince turns around and it comes to a 1v1.
Yeah,
he saves
ulti
his flash.
is burned.
Burns his ult.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was a good time to dodge. I guess they don't have vision of Ivern, and
Talia is coming up, so they are going to push for this first tower.
They should get the first tower, and they might look at Rift Herald after this, as they have decent vision. If they drop a ward in the jungle, they could go for Rift Herald here, because their mid tower is safe. They might have seen Cassidy back. Their bot tower is safe, so
I don't believe they saw Cassidy back, but it might be assumed that he's in base right now.
Put down a good ward and get that thing started, because from what we can see, this is a prime opportunity, especially with that blue ward running out just now.
Yeah, looks like Elise is in there. Aurelia's following in right away.
Cassidy knows what's up, though, and Pitbull is walking to check on what's going on. Hopefully he doesn't get turned, because his top lane is far away. Ivern's around to help. Actually, TBW not taking it fast enough, and this is looking kind of bad for them. Tricky Doodle and Boston have both throwing their flashes and handing over a free Rift Herald to SLM.
Not yet.
Not free. They do turn on the fight. Ivern finishes the Rift Herald. Doodle is fighting the Cassidy, and Boston is low on health. No flash on Irelia either. Cassidy is jumping onto Suwide, and he's trying to get it away while throwing Qs. While we see a big engage in the bot lane. Great ult by Tarek, by support.
But it's not going to be enough, because that's a lot of lockdown.
Somehow, TBW seem to be on the wrong side of the map. I thought they were away and free into the jungle, but things get turned around, and that is nearly an ace for SLM, with 4 TBW members dead. A Rift Herald to put down a mid lane. I expect they should get the first tower here. There it is.
Second tower.
They should get Right, the second tower of the game.
They're
should be picked
first,
up
yeah.
pretty easily. They might get some damage on mid tower. If they know, I don't know.
They'll get at least a bit because the Rift Herald will probably crash into it before it can be killed off. It's just a matter of how much health gets taken off the Rift Herald first.
Mm-hmm. But we also checked down top tower as well because Trinimir returned. So let them use the Rift Herald mid. And it looks like we're going to reset here shortly. So the next objective, probably top tower is weak. I think both bot towers are healthy, and Dragon's on the board. So depending on where TBW positions themselves in the next couple of minutes could determine whether or not they can save top tower while getting Dragon, or if they're going to trade 1-for-1. Or if SLM really plays their cards right and uses good vision to create a pick or two, they could end up with both of those objectives and deny a lot of power for SLM in doing so. I'm sorry, deny a lot of power to TBW in doing so. So what I want to see SLM do here is establish vision in the... Because Trinimir is eventually going to get that tower. If Elise is bot lane for Dragon, he's going to keep whittling down or force a good fight eventually to kill that Aurelia. And the 1v1, Trinimir is going to get the tower. So SLM needs to establish vision so that they don't give up the Dragon, or better yet, take it for themselves.
Yeah.
So a little bit of trading mid lane. Look at this. Like, Trinimir's just going to walk up. Okay, I'll take half my... Or... I thought he was going to slap the tower, but...
Decided to slap Aurelia and get slapped by the tower.
And we see an engaged bot lane. Boston has already jumped out, and even with the Varus ult coming through, not in position to follow it up. They do spot the cast in and the Tribe Rush. I don't... Let's see. Where's the Terracold? Terracold is up, so they do have dive potential in this 4v4.
And
but it's
TBW is respecting that and pulling back a bit here. So,
but even for SLM, I say you can do it, but it's not. You know, you don't have an advantage. You don't want to force it too hard.
Yeah, and it's an all right trade coming out from Aurelia. The Tryndamere crits though are really starting to add up.
And his sustain is a bit better, so something has to happen top lane, and that tower's going down. And he's actually going to go for the dive here because he has whittled down Aurelia while keeping him... Knight will take it to less than even burn his ultimate. What a great play by Dreer Prince, finding that 1v1. And SLM simultaneously taking out the bot tower. They may lose their mid tower here, but a 2-for-1 and bot side control with that Dragon up is a big turn for them. They might push on this next tower. Varus' wave clear is okay, but I think TBW is going to turn down to respect that while Tryndamere is pushing up on another tower. Goodness, is he going to get 2 here? With nobody to respond top, that tower's looking dangerous. And this is really good macro play by SLM. They identified that TBW is not in position to react to this. And they're pushing up on both towers on all fronts. And I see... Ooh! He popped Tryndamere before he can burst his ult. What a bit of a misplay by Drew Prince, but that was a lot of damage I did not see coming.
That was a 25% combo there.
It was Q, Ludens, and probably Thunderlords at the same time. So Tryndamere loses the 1v1. A good play by Boston is getting that pickup there. Means he's able to leave the top lane and respond to Dragon. Had Tryndamere survived there, even if Elise doesn't die, had Tryndamere survived, you keep Elise up there and give SLM the Dragon. But he failed to do so, and TBW with 5 against SLM's 4 means they do get the Dragon despite SLM's good push up on the bot lane. So a little bit of a misplay, unfortunate for them, but Boston picks up the kill, gets back in time for Dragon, so they're able to secure that objective.
But it is important to remember that that was 3 towers for 1 tower and a Dragon. So, and a kill. There was a kill that went over at the start of all that with the Tryndamere and Aurelia 1v1.
Absolutely.
So
we're going to reset a little bit here. Baron spawned, but I don't expect much to happen around that anytime soon. But eventually that top pressure from Tryndamere, and honestly, I wonder if you send Tryndamere bot soon. You might try to work on the top tower a little bit more, but
I think you try and get that inner tower first before you send them down for the inhib tower.
Absolutely.
But
I think you try to contest the top tower, but if it's not working out, But Pitbull very strong right now. He's able to go on Suicide and chunk him. Unfortunately for him, TBW's in a position to respond, whereas his team is not. So a little danger there for the Castin, who's power spiking at the moment. A little danger for him, but both mid laners do get away at half health. So we're starting to see a bit of a group here. Now, how these team fights are going to go, hopefully SLM splits to their side lanes And like we talked about in the pregame, we're able to split up. But here we go, a good stun by support. He's catching both, using the Talia in the stun. Flash is coming out from Varus, and he goes down to crit from the Draven, I believe. Too wide, forced to burn. Both summoners there as well. Caston is looking for a very, but he does get out alive because luckily for him, I really was on the other side of the map. Maybe have seen that. Boston is lands a stun. Just do not chase this kid. You do not want to chase that because then you're giving up the tower if you die here.
Yeah.
However, Drake, you still have Trinity with ult. You have Daisy. You have a ton of shields coming up from SLM. They're probably gonna get this tower. They need to step up with that Daisy taking the tower. Step up and take the tower.
No, the health bars are a bit too low on SLM's side to be able to actually push in with that Daisy. Unfortunately.
Maybe so, but right now they're doing nothing with this death timer. TBW is sitting on the same amount of health, and SLM backs off. I think you use the 5v4. I think they could have chipped away the tower had they been a little more confident in the. Yeah. Because Tryndamere is a huge threat when you don't have when you have a numbers advantage. Because it takes 2+ people to deal with him, and when you only have 4 people to use, that's a big deal. Boston is, he's going to get caught here. He's a little overextended, tries to turn it on Cassidy, but he does not. He repels up in the air to wait for his teammates to save him. Has to flash out, as Varus is not much help to save from Cassidy.
And that's a pause. From someone this time.
I want to take this moment. I hope nobody cares too much about spoilers, but we did have another Dominate match going on. The other quarterfinal between Project Noble and D&D. And Project Noble won in a 2-0 sweep. So, Project Noble will be going on to the semifinals to face my team, Aim and Ignite. And we'll see shortly what the outcome of this match. Who's going to play TLG in the semifinals match. But just want to shout out there, a lot of people did not expect PN to win that game, as they had a questionable amount of victories in the late season, but they're proving that they were forced to be messed with and shut down the rising D&D to stop their tournament run. So right now, Support Lives Matter still hasn't backed, whereas most of TBW has gotten the chance to buy and heal. If TBW can look for an engage right here with all 5 members, despite their Nami being low, she should be in the back line. So if you can look for an engage here with all 5 of your members on SLM that hasn't backed yet, you could pick up a favorable fight before SLM has a chance to reset, because they're definitely behind the goal. They should be feeling it, especially with the kill and tower count. So you need to be looking for advantages like this and making aggressive calls.
Yeah. I do want to make a note of just how much gold that Tryndamere is up right now over Aurelia in the top lane, of about 2,000. Mm-hmm. So that's a huge advantage to have in your split push.
What a kill. So instead of SLM backing off and trying to get their backs in, they turn on TBW, who is not ready to fight them. I really think you have to force the 5v5 against a team like this when you have a tower disadvantage, but they're just not pulling the trigger. You have an engage comp with your Varus, Nami, Talia. We haven't seen that once. We saw 1, maybe 2 Talia ults top lane.
Yeah.
Like, what are they doing with this team comp? You gotta pull a trigger, or else they're just gonna bleed you out.
Yeah, it's one of those things. You're 5k down though, and in a 5v5, that's a lot of gold. So it's a matter of you got to choose something to give up in order to win a team fight.
Absolutely. And to be honest, here we go. We finally starting to see a little bit of aggression from the a little late, but this might be enough. They do land, and that is a Jet Draven. So good pick. Although it's just one, hopefully they can get out here. Suicide running the wrong way. You don't want to go talk to that Tryndamere. The Cassidy comes coming off from the other side, and he is done. No flash. He saves his barrier. And although they got that one pick using the ult, they're left without their team and got collapsed on from both sides. So SLM doing a good job of responding appropriately. I really think their vision control is allowing for this, because SLM has some aggressive wards, whereas TBW is all back in their own jungle. So SLM should have a better idea of what's going on during these skirmishes than TBW, so they should know when the right time to go in, when the right time to peel off is, whereas TBW is just kind of in the dark a little bit.
Yeah, and that comes with the territory of where they find themselves right now. But so far they're doing a decent job of like holding steady in this competition. They haven't really lost a lot in a while. And trading 1 for 1 when you're down a couple kills and several towers isn't that bad of a thing, especially if the other team doesn't push off of it.
You're
So-
right in that they're hanging on, but this is not the kind of team you can just hang on against. You know, they're definitely surviving, but you have to be winning right now. The later this gets, SLM's going to be strong. I feel like it's going to advantage them because if you're not killing them in team fights, they're going to continue to push down your side towers. Sooner or later, Trinimir is going to win that inhibitor, and if you keep trading 1-for-1 against SLM, you're not winning if you're trading 1-for-1 because Trinimir is split push, Cassin is split push. Although we haven't seen the Cassin and split push, those are both big threats. So TBW needs to use their tools to have convincingly good team fights, or else they're going to bleed out. And what they cannot afford to do is lose a 1v1 in the top lane. Sugar Doodle almost turns around. In fact, he does. He's almost kills Drea Prince, who has to overextend Burn Flash to kill him. And wow, this is a very aggressive play by SLM. They are on deep into the other side of the jungle, but Bossonus gets burned down with nothing to jump to. We see Daisy out on the back line, and after getting Bossonus and with a top tower that's available with a minion wave, they're going to back out, get some damage here. They should clear the tower and start to look at Baron or Dragon at the very least.
Yeah, this tower will go down, and they probably will rotate over to the Baron with the catch on to Bossomness, and having a Draven being able to just smack down a Baron would work quite well. But looks like they're going to back off and let TBW protect yourself.
You don't need to force the Baron at 26 minutes. I expect TBW would have worked fine at any time, especially with that ultimate, which...
Yeah.
Iron has a lot of shields. He has Redemption coming down, but there are 3 people on him. Cassidy jumps in. He's on to the damage dealers of TBW. But he actually gets killed himself while Ivan's on the back line trying to survive.
Yeah. SLM, you're ahead, but you're not 3v1 ahead. Or at least anyone that's not Trinimir is.
And kudos to TBW to properly switching their focus from the half health Ivern to the full health Cassidy and burning him down. But they over-chase here. They're burning flashes to chase onto this Ivern. And that's just what he wants you to do. And we see 2 kills coming from SLM responding properly to the overchase. Ocean Dragon as well, which is the second of the game. First one for each team. So I was trying to compliment TBW for their target selection, and they just get way too greedy with no vision to support that. And support life matters properly punishes them for that greed.
At that point, you should take the cast and pick and leave it at that.
When Talia flashes forward just to throw more Qs at a half health Ivern, you probably don't have much supporting that. So I think that was the point where they overextended, and at that point it was just, well, do we turn around or do we commit to this overextension? But they definitely get punished for it, and SLM is starting to really dominate this map because TBW is not creating opportunities. They're using their ults for shaky 1-for-1 picks, and they're not really using their bot lane very effectively. What's the gold comparison on the AD carries? Draven is so far ahead of Varus, where I'm sure Varus feels like he's throwing noodles at the enemy team compared to the Varus.
Yeah, 3K gold there. 3K up in the top lane as well. Difference between the two.
I'm really struggling. I mean, I don't see any weak points in SLM in their team comp right now.
Yeah.
Ivern's only gone 1 depth. Their bot lane has 1 depth each, and they're leading CS in almost every lane. And TBW is just showing that they don't know how to use this team comp, or at least they're really struggling to punish SLM's.
I think it's less that TBW doesn't know what they're doing with their comp, and that SLM has excelled in using their composition. Because we were talking about it earlier, that I like, with the aggressive style that they played, having a 1-3-1, but as long as you could control your early game a bit and not go down 9 or 10 kills in 10 minutes, right? And not only did they do that, they went up 5 or 6 kills in about 15 minutes. I think they were up 9-4 or something like that.
And so TBW is grouped again, but they don't have the you know what it is? They don't have the vision to pull the trigger, because that team comp, you need to engage into 3 or 4 people. You can't engage into 5 people, or else advantage 5v5. So they really need to turn around the vision. A good jump over by Irelia, and Talia is trying to get the knockback. A good ult by Support is going to counter the entire engage. Trinimir is pushing up the top tower while Support Lives gets a kill on Bossonus. This is looking really bad for TBW, as they can't even win a 4v5 fight. Wow. Excellent timing on Support by Support on timing his ultimate and the stun to really shut down any sort of aggression from TBW. And look at this. They're scared beyond past their tower while Trinimir's taking top tower. This is looking pretty grim for the number 3 seed.
Yeah.
In the second game.
And that's the beauty of the Tark pick in a 1-3-1 composition. Like, or even just 4-1, like what they're running right now. Because Cassidy hasn't even really been split pushing at all.
No,
He's been
hasn't.
with the team.
Yeah,
but
for picks. Like, he might get on the zombie right here. Exhaust is Aurelia is able to jump on Draven while Varus on TBW drops to the other two. Aurelia picked up by a late auto attack from Draven. And SLM, if they can clean up Boston here, they do not quite. So Boston is 6 out alive, but still small bad trades for TBW. They just cannot turn this around. I think they're too far behind at this point. And SLM is not making a lot of mistakes. I mean, they're dying a little bit in team fights, but they're playing the team fights right. They're rotating correctly. Their macro is really clean right now.
Yeah, no,
and
this
I think
is...
a lot of that,
and Trindamir's kind of taking their base all on his own.
Oh my god, he still has ultimate, and Tarek is there to support him. They turn right back around. They jumped out of the base and say, hey, Trinamir's on the Nexus towers. Let's end this right here, right now. He does use his ult. Hato is the only one on the Nexus at the moment. Awesomeness has been ulted by Tarek, and they're not quite going to get to Daisy's on the Nexus. But TBW does hold on for just a moment as they're able to kill off the last of the attackers. Very aggressive play by Support Lives Matter, and it almost worked. I actually quite like that. They're just a few damage short of ending the game there. Minions are not quite going to take it.
Yeah.
And TBW looking for Miracle Play. They're looking at Dragon, Baron.
I mean,
they can't
no.
You can't do it.
There's Draven.
And somebody here looking like Dreer Prince. Is he going to get the double kill? No, he does not. He doesn't finish off Nami. He no longer has a bleed. I don't know if he was hoping for a little extra damage there, but switches off the Nami to try to focus his Leah, but not secure the kill, and he does go down for a 1-for-1. TVW needs a miracle play like that, but they were not healthy enough to do it. They did not have enough threats down, and so SLM properly responds and stops their Baron attempt, and they should be able to force TVW back into their base, either rush them down, go for the Baron, but this should be an easy finish for SLM at this point.
Yeah, and there are a couple of wards there, so on the off chance that TBW does leave the base, Cassidy could theoretically teleport into their base and backdoor.
Oh my god, X-Special! Or not X-Special, I'm sorry.
X-Speke.
X-Speke! But no, I don't expect that to happen. You see Trinimir coming up on the side while Cassidy is in the Baron. Burn this down and just walk it in. Walking in as a team, this should be an easy finish, especially with this Baron. Boston is getting in range, but I don't think he's going to get there in time, especially completely blind. And that's Baron for SLM. I really don't see the need to recall here. You're so far ahead of gold that whatever you're purchasing right now is not worth the minute you're losing a Baron, you know? Although Cassidy is going to teleport mid, Tarek should be there shortly enough.
At the same time, it's also one of those things. You're that far ahead of gold, it doesn't really matter if you take an extra minute to get in.
Maybe so. Yeah, they should be able to end this game. They do have a mid tower, or TBW still does have a mid tower. It's not going to last long, and I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, it has no health on it. Two-shot by Draven.
We're not going to see any... TBW... What do you do at this
Trinimir flashing in.
Trinimir is about to 5v1 in the back line. Does get peeled by the enemy team. Cassidy is looking... He's on the Nexus, and this is Game 2 going to Support Lives Matter. Very well played. A great macro game coming off of the strong early game. Secures their chance at a Game 3 to turn around this series.
Yeah, no, that was quite the impressive bit of a move there. And I really like the change up in the draft. And
a much more standard team.
The change up in I wouldn't say it's a standard team with Trindamere, because that's not something you see a whole lot.
For SLM, 4 out of 5 is pretty good.
That's true. But no, I like how they adjusted not only their draft, but how they played around it. Because they didn't just let themselves get caught out. They started realizing, okay, Bosomness is going to be making moves here and here, so let's make sure that we're pushed in so that we can rotate up and help counter that move, right? In the first game, it was just Bosomness going wild in the streets, and he could, SLM couldn't do anything to stop him. And this time, whenever him and Talia roamed up to top to gank, there was usually Ivern and Kassadin following up. Tarek Draven held their own in the bot lane and then just pushed that advantage into the mid lane and started pushing that down. Like, they played their composition extremely well.
Absolutely. So we should be eventually getting into the draft phase. We might take a little break here for everybody to gather themselves and see how these two teams prepare for Game 3. Because this is a huge match for the Dominate playoffs. And I'm interested to see how this is going to go. I think a lot's going to matter on the draft, as both teams have shown incompetence and ability to play to their strengths. So I think the next few minutes when we get into this draft, I think that's going to decide a lot for this final game.
Yeah. But I think we will take a little break so I can set up a few things and get us ready for game number 3.
All right.
This is going to be hype.
Back in just a minute, and we'll see what these teams want to go with for their last pick and ban.
See you guys in a few.
in a league of your own, created by you, for you. 2 leagues and 20 teams.
Wants to go in, Chopper used on him.
Some are chosen to answer the call.
Stuck with 1v4, but he's actually winning this 1v4.
Some are not. Will you be one of them? There will be obstacles. There will be quitters.
Hello, this is Young Grub Mixtape, the jungler for LAG.
Redbox just pulled him dead again. The support flashes and nice stuff, and this might be it for the Mises.
Tomorrow we're playing against the Silver Wolves. I don't know why they came up with that name because only 2 of them are silver and the rest of them are just a group of boosted trash.
Misses gave it again. Drippers with a nice dash, and Cosmetic Radiance coming out. Drippers just kicked in. Red is in the backline, but he's invulnerable. Haku trying to lift this fight.
Strike can decide the game.
It's too late. And top and Rainboss might be in trouble here. Oh, nice fight.
Will you join? Will you leave your mark? 10 teams battle it out for glory. Who will be victorious? And who will be the losers?
Bag is not even close here, so this isn't gonna be a free. Oh, he missed the snag!
10 weeks of intense competition.
There's actually, the redemption coming in, and there's the Ash. They do get the pull onto the Soraka. Soraka does fall, and this Darius does end up falling. Late heal bash, Aqua will go down, and it looks like that could be the game for L. Has the kill going to this Ash.
There will be people who stand in your way, and things won't always be easy. But will you prove that you have what it takes to succeed? Well, you show us.
Here, autoing them down to death. Nice ultimate by Young Good. Double kill for Dating King. Triple kill? Triple kill for Dating King. Oh wait, this might be in trouble here. Drippers wants to go in. The support falls off first. Drippers trying to fight Hunter 1v1. Who wins this fight? I have no idea.
Oh my goodness.
Already in down. Really used by Drippers. Flashing the Hunter. Ultimate! Oh my goodness! This is a Roman is gonna go down here. Barrier used. Nice shockwave.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for Game 3 of Torn But Whole and Support Lives Matter. Risen Esports Dominate League quarterfinals in the playoffs. I'm Kevin Noteman Kyle. With me here.
Oh, sorry. Western Olivier. And we're ready for an exciting game 3.
Yeah, I mean, we've had 2 extremely. I'd say it's pretty safe to say that they've both been pretty one-sided games.
Yeah. TBW looked better in Game 2 than SLM did Game 1, but SLM looked dominant in Game 2. They look like a team we haven't seen before, or at least not since the early days of the league. So, what do they need to do to look like that again and steal this game through, I want to say, from TBW?
Yeah, I think it's key for them to try and play the same style, because it fits them. That level of aggression they were able to show in the mid and late game just fit really well, and they were able to clean up some of their mistakes that they had in the early game in the first game. They made 1 or 2 here or there, right? Top lane, Dreer Prince, he might want to put a few wards out once or twice.
Yeah, such is the life of an AD carry / Trinivir player. That's all I want to say about that.
I don't know about that, because, I mean, I may be an AD carry main, and I may usually have the second highest wards on the team, so...
Well,
I don't know if you can use that as an excuse.
True enough. So, one thing I'm interested in this ban, Dreer Prince, he's known to be a Draven one-trick. He's a great AD carry, and he had an awesome performance last game on that Trinivir. He was a huge threat at almost every point of the game. But if he doesn't get that Trinivir, how does SLM play the same strategy? What else does he have to rely on if that ends up banned?
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty safe to say that Trinivir is basically a melee Draven. I think that's a fair assumption.
Definitely see the resemblance there, or the semblance there. Another thing about this draft, what I've been thinking about is TBW going to go for the same engage style that we saw in game 1 and 2? Game 1, they didn't really need it, and game 2, they never really pulled it off. So I'd be surprised if we saw Talias, Varus, Nami again. I'd like to see TBW take another approach at this draft.
Yeah, well, we'll find out right away, because we're getting into draft phase right now. I believe, as long as everybody starts going.
Let's see. All right, TBW with blue side again. I could see a Trinimir ban. I really could. I'd like to see them force Dreer Prince to play another type of character.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's other split pushers in the game, but when people role swap, like I've been saying about Bostonist, you gotta assume that the champion pool is not as big as it should be. So
yeah.
I think I'd like to see TBW ban Trinimir, and let's see what else has been troublesome. Elise has been holding her own, but was not a huge threat in that last game, despite the good early game from Bostonist. He was not as much of a threat that game. So I think Estlin is fine to leave that up. TBW could ban Raka, maybe.
Okay,
maybe they ban
we're in finally.
We're in.
Everybody finally got the message.
They lose one ban.
Yep.
If I was TBW, I'd go for Trendemir Draven. I think.
You know what's kind of interesting about this Aatrox ban being a replacement ban, though, like for their non-ban, is if Trendemir was banned out, I could see Aatrox as almost a viable alternative.
An alternative. I thought you were going to say a counter, but yeah, an alternative to Trendemir is definitely
if Trendemir gets banned out.
Yeah,
right?
I'm really not sure what his top lane pool looks like, but these first bans come out very quick. Same 3 bans for SLM, which I think change things up too much. Don't want to give these characters a comfort, or these players a comfort picks.
Yeah, I like the Ivern adaptation. Wasn't necessarily the strongest jungle, but combined with the Taric and the Draven, it caused a lot of problems in the mid-late game.
Mm-hmm. TBW bans the Ivern. I guess the Ivern performed pretty well. I would have said Trinimir is more ban-worthy, but maybe they were really threatened by the Ivern, and maybe they have better ideas for the top lane matchup.
And so we do see the Kled this time come back for TBW.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think they're playing the composition just right, but maybe Kled was the missing ingredient. Maybe that's what they really needed to make this work for them. So
and I like the Lee Sin pickup in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Lee Sin's pretty much always a good jungle. It's hard for him not to be a good jungler.
And that's such a good character for Hato. He loves those aggressive junglers. He's played so much Kha'Zix, so much Lee Sin, that being able to pick that up is, probably a comfort pick for him.
Yeah. The question, though, with the aggressive jungler, though, is that what's going to work against TBW? Because we saw him on the Kha'Zix in the first game, and he kind of got completely outclassed.
Yeah, he definitely was not in the right place at the right time, not following, jungle paths.
Yeah.
So I do think Lee Sin is a good pick. We see Gragas Nami coming out for there. TBW is going to go for their full engage.
Yeah. I like the tankier pick on the Gragas with Gragas jungle rather than the Elise.
Especially with a Kled pickup. He's not a frontline. I mean, he's sort of a frontline, but he's not a tank by any means.
Yeah. And I really think this missing ban is starting to hurt TBW, that they can't get that Draven off the table.
Yeah,
considering it's been first picked the first 2 games, and I mean it's already picked up here, and Taric Draven was disgusting in the late game.
Yeah, support played extremely well. He was nailing almost every ult. I do really like the Tryndamere ban from TBW. I think they gave you a chance twice now to ban it. I think you could counterpick it, or you could say, you know what, let's just force them to play someone else. And I think that's the right decision. I think SLM is going to have to kind of scratch their heads and come up with a new top laner to match Dreer Prince's dominance in the last game.
Yeah. And that being said, Kled's a fairly good brawling jungle or top laner too. So I don't know how much he might do a bit better in an aggressive matchup than the Aurelia did, because Aurelia hasn't really been strong for quite a while.
Absolutely.
And it's going to... I'm curious where this Jace is going.
I assume top lane.
It could easily be a mid pick, though.
I believe Dreer Prince played AD carry Jace earlier in the season. So yeah. I expect Dreer Prince to play Jace top lane now. TBW going with the Lux. I kind of expected the Talia. But maybe they have enough engage already. They do swap out Varus for Ashe this game.
Yeah, the Ashe was banned in the last 2 games, I believe. So that's an interesting one that comes out. And Talia mid lane. So
SLM.
Yeah, SLM decides to pick that one up.
Pitbull is a very competent Talia. He bought me in that matchup. So I know he's competent on the champion. I don't really see how it fits on the team comp. I don't think SLM built for a late game fight or.
I could see it because it's a decent wave clear mid.
True.
And goes really well into a poke comp with the Jace, with the Taric for sustain, and then you got Lee Sin and Draven there ready to go in really hard after you've poked them down a little bit. I can see this kind of working as a kind of combination between a poke and a dive comp.
Yeah, I think something like that could work, and maybe if they get their split push role, Dreer Prince might elect to play more of a split push role again. If that's what worked last game, if he doesn't get terribly far ahead, you might just see him sit in the top. Talia's good engage or blocking off access to the top side of the map could be a big asset for SLM's late game. Yeah,
I'm kind of surprised that actually Zach's finally fallen through the cracks completely in this.
True, I didn't think about that. 9 times out of 10, you pick Zach over Kragus, right? Because they do just about the same thing. So it's probably just neither jungler really plays the champion is the only thing I can assume.
Yeah, it's just one of those interesting things, and Zach opens up a lot of different opportunities with his passive as well. Like running with your top laner, you go in for a dive bot lane, you pop your passive, your top laner TPs onto one of your blobs, which keeps you alive for a while longer, and then you've suddenly got an extra person down to help finish off anything that isn't dead yet.
Yep, very true. And the Lux pickup is interesting. I don't know if TBW has run that before in tournament. Maybe once or twice. I think I remember seeing it on the results. It's going to be hard for me to be impartial because I'm a big fan of that champion. So that being put aside, I think it's a fine mid-match. Talia should look to shove Lux in early while respecting the jungle so that Lux is forced to farm with mana. She's not the best at farming under tower, but Lux has fair kill potential, level 6, of course, and I can see that going either way. Other lanes, Draven Taric's going to be really strong against Ashe Nami. Hopefully, SLM can win that bot lane and apply a lot of pressure. Maybe go for an early dragon that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Jungle, you've clearly got the aggressor in Lee Sin. Greg is going to have to be tracking that jungler, looking for gank, and trying to keep his team alive while farming up for late game. Try to keep that Lee Sin as irrelevant as possible, as long as you can.
And Gragas is a good choice to do that with. Like, he sits fairly well running through the jungle, and he can also just come up and just do incredible counter ganks between the barrel slow and the body slams and the damage reduction with his drinking problems. So, like, Gragas, I think, is a really solid pick into this Lee Sin. And then come late game, if SLM tries to go and, siege a tower, start to poke you down, Ash Arrow comes out, Gragas ult pops that person who gets caught back, and then suddenly they're kind of blown up.
You're bubbled, you're snared, you're bear trapped, and you're in trouble.
So, it's interesting to see how these two will play out. But I think this is probably the most even draft that we've had so far.
I like to agree with what you said. Absolutely. I mean, we saw a very one-sided draft and a Game 2 draft that looked really strong for SLM, and this was a little more balanced for both teams. So throughout all stages of the game, I think SLM definitely has the early advantage through bot lane and jungle. But if Team W makes it late, and if they can play their team comp better than they did last game, they should have much better chances of taking home Game 3 than they did with Game 2.
Yeah. Overall, like, the team comps probably go in the side of TBW just because that Talia's kind of a little bit awkward in the composition.
Right.
But outside of that, like, it's still a really strong pick. So it's not hard to see where you're going with that.
True. So we'll have to see how far ahead SLM can get. They need to get far ahead early. They need to control the two river objectives and get pressure out of their bot lane. You want to get that bot lane tower and bring it to mid lane as soon as possible. That's what SLM needs to do early game. And TBW needs to grin and bear it, keep your towers healthy, have Gragas prevent ganks as much as possible, and then late game, as soon as you hit 6, you got to be ulting on cooldown.
Yeah, so I'm also not. I don't like. Now that I'm looking at it, I kind of don't like either of the mid lane picks with their compositions. Like, Lux isn't bad. Lux. I'm not saying Lux is a bad pick, but if we're looking at, because this is a pretty meta strong pick. If we're looking at the mid lane meta, probably one of the strongest mid laners right now is Orianna. And Orianna would work really well with this composition.
Orianna would have been great. And so would Talia. But they decided to try something new.
Yeah. And I'm not saying the Lux won't work out or anything. In fact, it actually might be just what they need, because Lux will provide that extra damage, because Ashe doesn't have the highest damage output for an AD carry. And, I mean, Kled's a bruiser top laner, so he'll do some damage, but not a whole lot. So that extra burst from Lux might be exactly what they're looking for with this composition.
Right, maybe so. But I definitely see where neither of the mid lane picks are really perfect for team comps.
Yeah. Actually, it's almost swap them around, and they're perfect.
Lux goes on the poke team, Talia goes on the engage team.
Yeah.
So kind of interesting there. I wonder who SLM would have picked had they not gone Talia. I don't know what to think about that. Because Cassian's out. I don't remember who they played game 1. But anyway, I guess that's irrelevant now. So we should be loading up in 1 second. The game should be starting soon.
Alrighty. And just because I can right now, I'm going to give a shout out because I've never bothered to change the sponsorship thing. So I'm going to say he's sponsoring Game 3 as well. Moose was here. Right there on the screen.
What a great contributor to the community. He has some amazing things like shitpost at 2 a.m. and call people idiots in chat. That's what I really look from in a Moose who loves the scene, you know?
Absolutely. And so we are getting into the loading screen here. I'll just bring that up, and we should be ready to go right away. Actually, let me hide that for a minute. There's no point in having that overlay on over the loading screen because it doesn't link up with anything.
So one thing I'm really glad to see is Pitbull taking, I don't know if the stream can see it yet.
Yep, it should be up there.
Cleanse on Talia. Cleanse, I promise, is the hidden counter to Lux. Like, it removes Lux's kill potential. I mean, how is she going to 1v1 sort of deal? So, not a lot of people think about it or know about it, but Cleanse is a really powerful tool to get yourself through laning phase against a Lux.
Yeah. It's just a matter of don't get yourself bound a second time.
Yeah, true. But you get one, maybe two get out of jail free.
Yeah.
Cleanse is such a low cooldown. It's very nice and reliable against a tough lane like that.
No, I agree. I think Cleanse is probably one of the most underrated spells in solo queues.
Mm-hmm.
And, let's see. Why is that not going away? There it is.
Another interesting pick is the Ignite on the Jace top. Even for an aggressive player that Drew Prince is, I still think Teleport is the right call, but it worked from last game, and he's just going to do his best to be that lane bully.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's a lane bully with wards, unlike the last couple of games, but he needs to get those kills to make that Ignite pay off.
Yeah. But the bright thing is Jace is pretty strong into the Kled. Because you do have that range for him, you can poke him down. Kled tries to dive in on you, you just smack him away with your hammer. Like, there's a lot of tools that Jace has to win this matchup.
And one thing I have to hope for is a lack of bug splats. That's what I really want to see. But you do see SLM going on the aggression. I think they're spotted by Lux. Absolutely. So they're going to flash their mastery motes, get their vision down, and retreat back to their jungle as TBW stays put guarding their entrances. All right, so jungle pathing here. We have bot side start, a blue start by Lee Sin, and probably a red start for Bossinus. Although Gragas, I'm sorry, he's on the top side of the map.
Yeah.
Gragas might be starting blue. He should be going to Raptors. Yeah, I think he is. I think he was just looking out top lane. So
yeah,
Gragas
probably just guarding the top side a bit, and yeah. Once again, not going to see any invades or anything out of these two teams.
SLM looked at it, didn't quite see the look they wanted, so they backed off, got a little vision. Interesting is Lux got a ward on the Raptors, which should expire before Lee Sin moves over there. And after seeing him bot lane, I don't think you should really... So, I don't know if there's a lot of merit in that ward. Maybe there was. Mid laners trading Thunderlords. Pretty much the same damage coming out from each of them.
Well, Lee Sin's one of those junglers that can do Raptors with the right leashes and stuff, so it just shows... It just narrows down where he's starting. That he's probably... That he's not on the red side, and probably not going to start the red because he's not starting the Raptors, so...
And I don't remember if the blue bot lane leashed the Raptors, but they lost control of that lane really early, so that level 2 is going to go over to red side, and they're going to take the dominance nice and early, and they should be punishing this Ashnami a lot.
Yeah, that was a nice little trade in the top lane by Kled. Saw the opportunity to get a bear trap on a rope in and get a couple auto attacks off before ducking back and avoiding some damage. So I like how you played that out. Especially going Doran's shield into the Doran's blade. Somehow there's a lot more sustain built into a Doran shield than the Doran's blade.
Yeah. Doran shield is in a good place right now.
Doran's shield is busted right now. It's not a good place. It's busted.
All right, so interesting here. Both junglers are going to fight over that Scuttle Crab, it looks like. As usual, Dreer Prince does not have the river warded. So it's a good thing Lee Sin was there, or else he would have been getting that early Gragas gank.
Yeah. And Kled actually in a lot of trouble here.
But with that minion aggro, I can see him turning that round just as easily. Ball react to this, but Dreer Prince does get his ward down.
Yeah. And Ash getting engaged on here, dodges the stun.
Close miss on that stun. A little bit of a fight back, but not too much from that blue bot lane. Both mid laners looking pretty low. I'd be pretty scared for the Lux right now. You don't have a ton of mana. Although neither does Talia, but Thunderlord's Q hurts from Talia, so you gotta be careful not to... When Talia's on her work ground is when you need to be watching. I'm sorry, when she's not on her work ground and has the 5Q.
I was gonna say, I don't think the single shot is that bad.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna take one over the other.
Dreer Prince should be looking to dive Sugar Doodle here. Sugar Doodle is...
Gets the
clap! And he turns to fight.
It's the Scarl. Dreer Prince Can you?
Prince, I don't know if he thought he could burst.
Oh.
Or if he didn't look at the courage bar, but
He was so close to getting that kill, but Sugar Doodle just got enough damage off to get that bit of safety.
Flash come out there. Pitbull held on to cleanse there, probably because he didn't have much more follow up. But Lux forced to flash out as Hato was in the right position to follow up on that on the damage.
Yeah. So this
Sweet
is a
looking. That was definitely killable, although didn't have much follow up. But Pitbull cleanse is not going to save you from auto attack deaths. So
no.
He's forced to flash out as well with no barrier there, or exhaust or whatever you.
Yeah.
Would rather
And
take.
one spell landing, even with that cleanse, if a binding landed, that would be death. So
I'm not sure that Swede had the mana, but either he did or the auto attacks would have gotten him otherwise. So
Yeah.
I think the flash was necessary after the auto Thunderlords.
yeah. At the very least, he did trade flashes there, so it's not that big of a loss. And Lux had to back as well after that, so no real lane pressure gained either way.
Right. Very impressive by this the Ashe Nami. They're kind of far behind in CS, but they're sitting there at high enough health to where being dove is not a threat, which is not easy against a Draven Taric lane. So 6 CS difference. They should push this wave up and then recall, so they're not down terribly much against the Draven Taric. If they overstay here, they're just going to hurt themselves. So they should push this and get out. Talia's moving around a little bit. This is what she's going to do. She's going to push the lane up, and she's going to... right now, probably just getting vision because she has no ult yet.
I was about to say, she would like to ulti, but she's still level 5.
Right.
Yeah.
And, Boston is getting pinged out there. Does he have a ward? He does not. Once
Yeah.
he goes to check it after it had been pinged,
And there's the charge from Skarl.
and wardless Dreer Prince looking to fall again, but Hato's here for the save. He does not have ultimate, neither does Bostonist, and Pled is still on the Jace, so trying to burn him down, but Talia's also here for the save. Dreer Prince escapes with a sliver of health, and Pitbull picks up the kill. Nice knockback, and the combo forces Bostonist flash. What does Lex be able to do here? She does have the ult. That's a hard one to hit.
I guess Pitbull got that off of a little bit of AoE from the Q?
Probably. There is AoE splash.
Yeah, there's a very tiny bit, so...
So, all in all, that ended up for 1-0 for...
yeah. The big problem, the big thing that turned that fight, though, was the fact that Kled missed 2 bear traps on a rope.
He did. He missed them both, and Jace got away with a sliver of health, even despite being flashless. And escaping that was big for SLM to take a little gold advantage there.
Yeah, if he hits either one of those, that's a dead Jace.
Mm-hmm. And it was a little disappointing that Swede wasn't able to do anything. Was his ultimate down? Oh,
no, he used it. He missed it.
Okay.
He casted it just a little bit behind the Jace.
Understood. Okay.
So Jace did not back off far enough for it.
And that looks like an AFK trade.
Yeah.
But TPW is going to punish him. They said, we're not getting eliminated over a DC.
Yeah. So we got another blue screen.
For the 3rd game in a row, SLM's 80 carry is having disconnection problems.
Yeah, so we might be seeing a lot more of this. What do you call this? Amber? I don't know. It's not a gray screen. Sepia.
Yeah, that's right.
Sepia screen. That's what I'm looking for. But
something interesting to note is that blue team TPW is in big trouble. They had 3 people down there as they were advancing on the. So had he not been disconnected, and support lives being able to follow up on that, they were in big trouble with at least Sin coming around in the tri-brush.
Yeah, that could have been a pretty good gank coming out. Taric is still level 5, so they wouldn't have the ulti available for the full dive, but depending on how it's played, it definitely tilted towards SLM for that one.
Yeah, and all 6 members down there are level 5. Would have been a risky dive, but had TBW followed a little further, they would have been far out of position. That would have been at the very least Summoner's burned.
Yeah.
If not a kill as well.
Yeah. So we are getting back into it. And oop, that's not the button I was looking for. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So pretty. Actually, that's a pretty strong lead coming out for Lux so far in the CS category, at least. 20
Right,
CS difference there.
She was able to assert some dominance after the Rome top lane. Sugar Doodle is unmounted after a good trade with Drea, and if he revamps, that Jace is gonna be in trouble. He needs to ask for a gank, recall, or get some poke on, or else he's in,
Yeah, and he's gonna cue the wave. Doesn't look like he's ready to recall. Doesn't want that wave hitting tower and getting a bit further behind. Kled's keeping the advantage in the lane with CS so far. So,
but if Kled remounts, you go for the dive. Gragas is getting close in position. Drea Prince actually wants to be the aggressor after he lands Q, but does not quite get in range to jump on Kled. Hopefully he respects that courage bar, like he failed to do so during the first blood.
yeah.
Sugar Doodle looks like he's baiting it. He's like, come at me, buddy. I have my jungler right here. I dare you. Drea Prince does have flash. He's probably going to flash the body slam, and he does get away. Nice dodge on the Q as well. Sugar Doodle not able to remount, so there's not a lot of follow-up on that, especially with the lacking vision of Lee Sin. So they played it safe there after burning Drea Prince's flash.
Yeah. No, it was good to go up and get that flash burn, though, because now Gragas can revisit that lane and really easily kill Drea Prince on one of his aggressive plays.
Oh, yeah. And Sweet out of position here as the bot lane roams up, untagged by TBW. And hopefully doesn't burn his Summoner's here because he is dead meat. He's trying to fight off the 1v1, but it's not going to happen. Pitbull picks up the kill with the help of the roaming bottom lane. I think that's one thing that Support Lives Matter does really well, is he knows how to apply pressure to other lanes, especially when he has pressure, because he's always laning with the Draven.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Support Lives Matter has been roaming, like, even in Game 1, he was getting off some pretty good roams. It was just, they were a little too far behind for it to matter.
He was looking for 4-man dive, as you see Lee Sin and Taliyah who are ready to go in, but he just slightly misses the stun there. TBW reacting just in time to escape a grim tragedy, as they would have been outnumbered greatly.
Yeah.
So now top lane, you have a flash
there's a Kled
and there's
going
the
in.
ult, which you should be using on cooldown.
She gets whiffed, and spectator mode does not want to go. I don't know where it wants to go, but now we're in the top lane.
Drea Prince avoids a lot of damage. He knocks away Gragas. He tries to bait them into the Taliyah, but it's not going to be enough as Kled picks up the kill. Hato and the bot lane pick up a dive in the 3v2 bot. An early cleanse from Pitbull Worldwide means he's going to end up dead as well, but he got a little too close to that Kled when his top laner was just about dead.
Yeah.
And that's what you get.
I like the rhyme in that.
Not intentional. We didn't see what happened much bot. They got one kill. They got the kill on the Ashe with the Lee Sin ultimate. Support's Taric got down very low. Not sure how that happened. And SLM, very smart push here, going for the tower. Nami can't defend that. And they trade it for the Rift Herald.
Yeah. No, it's an alright trade. The Rift Herald and the 2 kills. They only gave up 1 kill in the bot, I believe, so...
I mean, if you see Rift Herald as a guaranteed tower...
Yeah, at that life it is, yeah.
Exactly.
So... Yeah. Unfortunately, that is the second tower of the game, though, so... Kled, if he can get onto Jace, then he will remount.
But he got his Ignite Bird, he remounted just in time to survive the Ignite, and he's going to get out of there alive.
Yeah. Jace misplayed that a little bit, staying too close to the Kled.
True.
Worst case scenario, Kled had flash to get in there, but...
I think Kled wanted to bait the fight and remount mid-fight, but couldn't get on top of Jace. So
yeah, and once the Ignite came out, it was he was a little too low for that as well.
Drea Prince dropping a ward. Great work, Drea Prince, and he clears a pink in the process. He should find another one.
Oh my god, 2 wards, 2 pinks. Drea Prince, you're learning, maybe.
Alright, so how are things looking? Ashe, Captain Spencer, and Blue Eternity have actually earned themselves a CS lead in the bot lane, if only slight. Very impressive, especially since they're down a kill and against a Draven Taric. So, props to them for keeping that advantage. Sweet is CSing over Taliyah with that Lux.
Yeah.
And
To be fair,
yes,
Pitbull has caught up. He was 20 CS behind at one point, but with
was
the
he?
repeated ganks.
Ooh, and the missed Q from Lee Sin might be enough for Lux to stay alive. She finally burns the flash. Very used as well. Does not get a kill, but stalls enough for her team to get there.
Yeah.
Awesome is looking to finish off Talia, but he's too low. He took a ton of damage from that. And both bot lanes are finally arriving to the fight. Kled is very deep in. The Ashel lands onto Tarek. And wow, the ult from Nami and the Q Ludens from Gragas is enough to finish off Suicide.
So, with everything that was burnt, that was still only a 1-for-1 though, so...
It was 1-for-1. Kled has his ult up, and they do have a slight numbers advantage. They should be looking to clean fairly soon.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they didn't have the Gragas there with them, so they can't go on to the dragon or anything, so... Just making sure that
close.
SLM doesn't start it themselves.
Right. But I think you look for the Kled ult there, knowing that they have one dead, one top. But maybe Gragas was just not close enough to make that happen. And Suicide barely in time to save that tower. It takes a lot of
Oh, that's going to be a lot of damage.
One more auto attack. The E's going to chase him
Gonna
down.
need
Drew Prince
two more autos.
He turns! Instead of running away, he turns! And he dips off after...
That was really well played by Dreer Prince, because Lux had
the day.
Yeah.
And that should be an easy pickup, so... Almost amazing by Drew Prince.
If it wasn't for the Gragas, that was an incredibly good play, because Lux had led him with the Lucent Singularity, and that would have absolutely killed him. But the flash backwards to jump in and re-engage to dodge the spells.
Right. I think Dreer Prince just ran out of cooldowns. I think that's why he backed off, not because he saw the Gragas. However, here, Pitbull ulted top lane, and he's going to get collapsed on, but Boston is down by the three-man combo top. So 1-for-1 top lane. They're going to take the dragon for support live and give up the tower top.
I don't think they'll be able to take this tower, actually. I don't think it's low enough,
tower?
And Ash is in trouble. The heal from Nami.
Turnaround by Blue Eternity, keeping his AD carry alive. Well played. But at least he's still in the chase, and that Q, the first hit's going to take it. Sugar does take the tower, and he immediately turns on Dreer. But is Dreer Prince going to be able to turn this? He's unmounted Kled. Kled flashes forward and gets it with the shotgun, whatever it is.
Yeah. That's the insanity speed boost that Kled gets when he gets to charge in solo to an enemy. And by solo, I mean without Scarl.
Right.
So, it's surprising how fast that little bugger can move when he's running face first into certain doom.
So how's the map looking? Both teams missing a tower.
Yeah.
Both teams about equal in the objectives. No, I take that back. I think SLM got 2 of them. Isn't that right? SLM also got... Who got the Herald?
It
was SLM.
No, TBW got
TBW.
Herald.
Yeah,
because they got the mid tower off Herald.
So 2 towers versus 2 objectives taken, or 1 objective.
Yeah. TBW with the 1k gold lead, that's a kill.
Oh, that was greedy. You can't step up to Talia like that. Was he even close to remounting? I don't remember.
I don't think so. Not enough.
If you don't want to call it greedy, it was at least an overstay.
Yeah. With no flash, absolutely an overstay.
Pitbull built my favorite Talia item. He has the GLP, which is such a good combo, or good way to set up her combo, because that W is so hard to hit, but not if they're frozen. So he uses that not only to set up the combo, but also for the burst damage. So Kled didn't stand a chance of survival.
Yeah, and this is probably the most even game that we've seen so far today.
Oh yeah, and I definitely think part of it is to the teams a little bit more reserved. Nobody wants to lose their last game. Look at that.
Yeah, good flash.
W forces the flash.
Yeah.
You can't dodge the W if you're frozen. So that's a 40-second cooldown and trade for a flash. Really well done. We're looking for a dive here, but blue team is creeping up. Did Captain Spencer have vision of that? That might have been a lucky guess. Maybe they did. Maybe they had that blue buff.
Yeah, you might have seen him coming around at the blue buff. I don't know for sure, but...
So good W to dissuade him away. Boston is getting aggressive in the jungle.
Whoa,
he misses the ult, and his support is going to pay for it. Pitbull comes in to help.
Yeah.
Wide ult by Ash, but it doesn't matter. Hato, he's dead. Pitbull did not have a very effective ultimate there, but he's still going hard on this Ashe, and he misses the W, so that was the difference between life and death.
Yep. No, it's this game is really close, and neither team wants to give up too much.
Which can dissuade Kled from falling through, but now the ult's down, he re-engages. Q ult goes wide for Lux.
Well, the ult landed. The ult landed.
He missed.
Yeah.
And so TBW up a kill right now. Hato's still dead, and they're looking to chase up the top tower, but Bossumus runs into minions, and he dies to the Jace Talia combo. And Doodle still chasing with the Lux mid. Lux flashes to proc the passive. And Ashe is around the back line as well. I'm not sure what the plan is there, but he's going to cut off the escape route for Jace. And Taylor's going to go down to Sweet. So that was a really... Oh, Jace turned it on Ashe. I totally missed that. So Ashe has been sitting at low health.
Yeah.
I thought that was a guaranteed kill, but Drew Prince gets the kill. He's going to be turned around here.
Yeah, Sugar Doodle picks up that one. So... a lot of crazy stuff.
I think that went towards TBW's advantage. Must be, because they're having kills now.
So
and they're finally getting a little bit of gold lead. 2K ahead for TBW at the moment. And
there's a couple of things to complain about with the Gragas play up in the top lane there. For one, body slamming into the minions. Yeah, that wasn't the brightest play. But he did that over top of the Talia minefield.
Yeah, so
I don't remember the name of it. Yeah. He took a good chunk of damage from that.
So just a bit of a careless play, a little rush, not paying attention. Something like that. Could have been a lot cleaner play from TBW, but they still come out ahead. Impressive that Drew Prince was able to turn onto Captain Spencer and pick up the kill, but he does pay for it in the end. So,
yeah, he was dead one way or another, so that was a really good play by Drew Prince.
Well said. So Blues are being handed over. Talia's ulting onto the Ashe.
Yeah.
I don't know if it wasn't the right angle or if the team wasn't there to follow up. But man, using that ult on a flashless AD carry should be a kill every time. Unfortunately, it's not.
Yep. There's the flash body slam.
Flash body slam. Talia is down without her W. She gets ulted by Ashe.
Yeah.
But they ignore her. They ignore her and take out Drew Prince.
Yeah. Tarek was there for the save on Talia as well, had the ulti ready to go.
Yeah.
So
in the right place. So
pick the right target.
TBW is going to use that kill to establish their vision for the upcoming Infernal Drake.
Yeah.
And Lux looking for some damage here. Won't kill.
That's one of those moments you're really sad you don't have Flash, because
That auto would have finished her.
Flash auto, yeah. But probably a nice thing for Talia to know that she can survive that combo for the moment.
Not for much longer. She does pick up a Rylai's for some health, but bursting her down is going to open up this... Wait.
Cloud Drake.
The icon says Infernal.
I think that's just the dragon icon.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
So
you do have to look on the wall. Okay, so my bad there. All right, but anyway, bursting out Talia does open up the dragon for TBW, so they're able to build on their advantage a little bit more. We kind of said that SLM had to dominate out of early game, and I say they're dominating. So we're gonna have to see what they do to hang in this game against that scary comp that TBW is running.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting to note that pretty much all the dragons we've seen have been the NA specials. Yeah, ocean and wind.
Yep.
Wind and water.
I think you put a lot of pressure on Tarek here to control vision, because the last thing you need is for Lux to get easy picks. So if she has aggressive vision that's not being denied, your Draven, your Talia, your Jace, they're all in big trouble.
Yeah.
Ashe ult does hit. Bossumus follows it up with a Gragas ult, but Lee's able to escape to safety. So 2 ults burned by TBW. And SLM should be looking for an engage here.
To be fair, those are fairly low cooldown ultis.
They are.
Especially with the Ashe going Essence Reaver. She's looking to fire those out pretty much anytime she gets into a lane. So, this is going to be a tower pickup for TBW, though.
But you trade that for mid? And, they don't even take
or not.
Because TBW is going to threaten the next.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. TBW is going to take the next tower. SLM backs off. Instead of trading 1 for 1 or risking 1 for 2, they trade 0 for 1.
Yeah, no, that was a good play. And Kled pushing in the Talia top lane, she couldn't do anything to help out, so...
So just good job by TBW being on the ball with that rotation. Got there before the other team got to the mid tower, so they were able to get...
Yeah, solid little bit of macro play out of TBW on that one.
And I liked how they moved forward after the tower, because that made SLM get off of the mid tower just by stepping forward and threatening the next tower. And then as soon as SLM, they're backing up. So they denied the tower without having to overextend for the bot inner tower.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those moments like, oh, do we go for the mid? Is it worth it if we trade the inner tower? And in some scenarios, that's getting that mid tower, outer tower is even worth somewhat trading an inner tower for. Talia gonna ult away.
But he has time to ult away, so 2 ults burn, nothing's gonna happen. And SLM wants to try to make their push on the mid tower now that they've spotted TBW on the top side of the map.
Yeah,
they control the vision though.
I think the loss of the Talia ulti is the better, is the worst out of the two. I think TBW got the advantage out of that trade of ults, just because TBW doesn't have to have the Kled ult to engage, because they've got the Ash Arrow, they've got the Gragas Barrel, they've got the Nami Wave.
Plus Kled ult is a good 30 seconds faster.
Yeah. That too. So, yeah, really
starting to see,
not much going on.
Yeah, we're starting to see the teams start to play around Baron. They're going to take turns pushing mid, sweeping. Eventually one of them's going to run out of wards. We're going to see some conflict. Tarek pushing up a little aggressively, getting split from his team, but he's going to be fine. SLM looking to push the mid turret. I'm sorry, TBW looking to push the mid turret, but they're not going to get anything just yet.
Yeah. Might be able to cut off SLM from this tower if it's played right, though.
Threaten the Ashe and Gragas, and you might be right. Look at that. They're throwing out their ults, making them go the long way around. Now they're separate, and they're getting some autos onto that tower, which is just what they wanted.
Yeah, and that forces them back, so now TBW, if they want, can back out, get the Baron vision that was just cleared out by SLM, and we start this dance all over again.
The only problem for TBW is that Lux is running low on mana, and they have bot pushing into them.
Blue buff is up right now, though.
She's going to get the blue buff. Kled's going to go bot without teleport just yet, but SLM's not in a position to punish that. So. And
Kled does have his ulti available, so worst case scenario, he can do a bit of a run up if need be.
And ult in, right.
And that's a dead Tarek.
Wow. He did not respect...
Dead.
Wow, and then Boston is getting in the backline, pushes Draven forward. Backline, keep it low so that the others can catch up after the kill. Looking for another kill. Hato's getting low. The body slam lands after the Lucent Singularity, and the kill goes over to Blue Eternity's Nami.
Yeah.
Drip Prince probably not going to be able to hold this alone, so you better keep yourself alive.
And Gragas is kind of caught out of place here.
But instead, you see TBW flashing over. They're going to get aggressive, but they're splitting their focus onto 2 different characters.
Yeah. And Drew Prince didn't know where he wanted to go.
Yeah, that's a hard one to hit without any CC. So very impressive by Sugar Doodle flashing over to help his junk. But they didn't focus the same target. They split their attention, and Blossom just died anyway when they could have gotten maybe a 1 for 0 there. But they do end up with the turret after Swede's great ult.
Yep. And we got Dragon coming up in 30 seconds too, though. That's important to note with Gragas down for another 10 seconds or so. So we'll see where it goes.
As I've just checked.
I was about to ask if you could check that.
So let's see. SLM's got a couple waves pushing. Top tower is very low, and that could be a future quick and then establish your Baron vision. Might be the next move for them.
Yeah.
If they recognize how low it is. TBW doesn't have any threats on the board to stop them from doing that. As long as Hato starts pathing towards Dragon to stop that. Oh, but they didn't have the minion wave. So blue tower's not going to go down just yet.
Nope. Kled should be there and more than happy to clean up a little bit of farm here. Might even just ignore it and go for Talia.
Or they found the Lee Sin who thinks he's hidden. Yeah, definitely threatening to look for that pick.
Just because you're blind, Lee Sin, doesn't mean everyone else is.
So TBW is starting to take control. They've opened up the mid lane very well, which is a big power point for them. And they definitely have a gold lead. So I'm not sure what SLM needs to do in these team fights, because we said their team comp doesn't really mesh super well together.
Yeah, it's a matter of being able to pick off one of these people or get some good poke down with the Jace and Talia before a fight starts.
But the scary thing is that the other team's poke is better, and their pick is better too. Well, maybe not poke is better, but they have poke. With
Yeah, their engage is a lot better. So that's the scary part, is getting that poke down while not getting caught by the Ash Arrow, the Kled ulti, the Gragas ulti, the Lux bindings, the Nami waves, the Nami bubbles.
And
I could go on for a while longer.
Yeah. TBW sees them moving towards Dragon and say, nah, get back over here. And they start moving towards the Baron. They actually started very quickly. That ward was denied vision for a second, but it's not anymore. So TBW is completely spotted out here. Talia Wall is coming down. If she rides it all the way, she's dead, though.
Yeah. Just does it for the threat. And,
so they should split off and try to threaten that mid tower, but TBW is going to Kled ult onto this. That's a great engage opportunity for them. If they can get their carries into position, that Kled's going to ult on top of that whole crew.
Yeah, they're not choosing to pull the trigger just yet, though, so...
They do not. Which is okay, because their mid tower's not taking damage, and they don't need to force fights. But
yeah, Kled wanted to go clean that bottom lane fight, though. The bottom lane wave there. So...
SLM, how does SLM get back into this game? Because they're not ahead. They have a bit more of an early game team with that Draven Lee Sin. So what do they do at this point?
At this point, it's kind of hard to say, because as you said, like, they're kind of they've got good poke, but so does TBW, and TBW definitely has the better engage tools, because really your only engage is, you know, catch someone with a Talia wall or Lee Sin kick, get an insect play going on.
Yeah, I think either you make the 1-4 work. Lux flashes forward, the ult and the Q miss, but Kled's still going on to Dreer. And Lux's ult is able to hit, where the Taric ult comes out only on himself and Jace, but it does save Jace's life. Talia's here, but she's, her front line's gone, so there's not much she can do to stop that.
Yeah,
and that engage, even though it did not result in any kills, it gives them a ton of Baron pressure.
Yeah, TBW is still almost full health, and there wasn't much health on a lot of SLM afterwards, but looks like they're just trying to get a pick here.
They haven't taken it yet. The binding lands on the Lee Sin. The E does as well. Ult to follow that through.
Yeah, there's the flash body slam.
Find your way onto Talia. She's bursted down before she can react.
I didn't realize that the Gragas ulti was still up.
Oh yeah.
That surprised me.
See, it's a good thing that they didn't overcommit to that skirmish a minute ago, because you may not still get anything. And this way they backed up, they saved their ults, they saved their health. Very well done.
Yeah, Gragas might look to go... Oh, that's a dead.
He's dead. Great snare by Suwide. And that threat is removed. TBW is going to get this Baron and look to really take control of this game.
Yeah. That might be the last nail in the coffin for SLM here.
They still have a lot of base to defend, so it's not going to be a quick ending for TBW.
But it's that step on the path there. Looks like Katsuo will be able to pick up the dragon, though, so...
Team is there to help them, so they get a little bit in return.
Yeah. 2 Oceans. Next is the Elder Drake, so... I mean, that could be a spot where they get that comeback, because they do have the 2 dragons to buff up the Elder Drake a little bit more. But it's going to be a tough one. They're going to have to find the right fight in the right positioning at the right time. It's not impossible, though.
Right. I think SLM has to establish a really oppressive vision control, and get a good Talia ult and fight 5v3s. You've got to fight outnumbered fights if you're going to win this, because your team is not stronger, your engage is not better, and their 4-1 is not effective. So
and Kled's going to find Lee Sin in the jungle here. Lee Sin hops away with the blast plant. And
the only other thing they could really do is get like Talia to burst somebody, 100 to 0 somebody who's trying to attack a tower. But if that doesn't happen, you can't fight this 5v5.
Talia was rooted up there, but doesn't look like anything will come out.
She flashes away, and the Kled re-engages.
Tarek's dead.
The Tarek ultimate, although it was put down, it does not come into effect fast enough to save his life.
Yep.
Good reactions, but there's just too much damage coming from TBW's side. And they're moving on to this next tower. 4 top, 1 mid against SLM's 3 top, 1 mid. Still throwing out that poke. They got to walk some minions in. But man, this is looking grim. They're finally on to the Nexus.
Oh, Asher onto Draven.
Onto the Draven. That's another kill. And Boston is looking to chase a little more. He can't do that alone, though, so he needs to see him to back him up. And they're going to peel off from power. Talia with a cut-off ult, but Lee Sin's not in the fight. And your AD carry's dead. There's just so little you can do.
Why do you ride that wall?
True, yeah. You can put that wall down, maybe reposition a little bit, but that's not the right stop. Ooh, a nice stun by Tarek, but this might be too little too late. There's not much SLM can do. TBW.
The Lux laser.
Luxel gets a kill, and that's an ace. This should be game, and we are going to see TBW winning game 3 and moving on to the semifinals.
Oh, it's such a... That was such a well-played game by TBW.
It really does. They held off the early game threats, and they were able to play their strengths. The Kled really enabled them to run that go button comp, and they did a really good job. They controlled the vision, and really impressive win by them. After that game 2, where they got outplayed in the macro, they definitely turned it around this game.
Yeah, so let me update that. 2-1, and there's your victors. So yeah, TBW takes the W. Maybe that was a bit of a hint coming in. TBW SLM.
Oh, you'd say they're gonna take the L because it's in their name, huh?
Maybe it was the other way around because one person had a W, one person had an L, so you could take that away. I could spin this however I wanted.
Yeah. Well, nonetheless, that was a really good set. We saw the strengths of both teams come out. We saw SLM stronger than they had been in weeks. That game 2 was really well played. But
even game 3 was really well played. It was dead even game for a long time.
I think it came down to their team comp. I don't think their comp had the tools to win that game late. So
yeah,
they just, even though they were playing well, they just didn't have what they needed to be able to make those plays happen.
Yeah, I really think a big issue with this one was that Talia pick in the mid lane. Like, yeah, you have the walls for engage, but it's not a true engage, and they didn't really have anything to work as an engage. I don't know what a better pick would have been. Maybe like a Syndra or an Orianna or something. Syndra, you catch somebody with a stun sphere or something. Orianna, you get Lee Sin to dive into the back line, hit R.
It's hard to say what they could have done better because they played well. Nobody was obviously lacking in the team. They just couldn't pull it together, and TBW, they bid their time and they came out on top once their team comp evolved into what it needed to be.
Yeah, and it was a really fun series to watch and cast too, because we had that stomp game 1, like just absolute domination. And we're like, and I'm pretty sure both of us were sitting there like, God, how's game 2 gonna go? That was like, it was rough. And then game 2 comes in, and SLM made these gorgeous adaptations, and took what were really big weaknesses and turned them into strengths for that game.
Mm-hmm. That was a really good turnaround and like really, really top-notch macro play, which makes it even more impressive that TBW was able to turn around game 3 and outdo they outdid SLM the way SLM beat them the game before. So really, really good job to them, and their macro play really improved from game 2 to 3.
Yeah, there's a lot that can be said about these games. and really, it was just fun to watch. It'd really be interesting to go back and look through. I'm absolutely certain TBW is going to go back and look through these VODs of how their game went and try to figure out what happened in that game 2, where they can even things up. Because, I mean, if you have those game 2s happen in the semifinals or the finals, that's going to be bad for you.
Right.
Right. The further you get into the playoffs, like, different, apart from week play, like, in weekly play, like, even if you have 1 or 2 bad games here or there, it might not matter the next week because maybe, you know, the team that you face next week is weaker or has different weaknesses that play into what you were doing or something like that. Whereas in this, once you're into playoffs, every time you go forward, theoretically, they're facing a better team.
Yep. So it's gonna be exciting to see. Let's see. Our next matchups are TBW versus TLG, and Project Noble PN versus Aim and Ignite. So those should be the next matches to come up. Which hopefully we see some good plays, as good as this series, because this was fun to cast, fun to watch. And I hope it was fun to play as well.
Yeah. What was it? The other team had the 2-0 today.
Yeah, 2-0 for PM, 2-0 for Project Noble over D&D.
So that's going to be interesting, seeing how they translate a 2-0. Because, I mean, you can say, like, with a 2-0, oh, yeah, we're dominant, we're going in, we're really strong, we're ready to go. Maybe you just didn't find that weakness. Maybe the next team finds it, right? In closer series, you can find your weaknesses a lot better. So I'm really looking forward to see how TBW adjusts their gameplay to make sure that they don't lose the pace like they did in Game 2.
Last thing, before we head out, who do you think was the most vital key to that victory for TBW? Who do you think had the best performance throughout the whole set?
I have to go with Bosomeness.
You think Bosomeness? I was going to say Bosomeness or Suide. They both played really
Suide played really well, but Bosomeness was absolutely dominant in Game 1. Like, he caused that snowball.
He did. He capitalized on their early mistake perfectly, and he was running circles around SLM, to be honest, in that Game 1. Game 2, he was still able to keep up a decent score, and he did his job. I guess his team just kind of fell apart.
Yeah, it just wasn't the right composition into SLM's composition, and things started snowballing. And Tryndamere started snowballing, and everyone who's played solo queue has gone up against a Tryndamere and felt that.
Yeah, but even after that, he turns it around with a new champion again, and he had maybe 1 or 2 big misplays, but just as big as a factor in that game.
Oh, he had some absolutely fantastic flash body slams to engage. And, like, when he did that, they got kills or they got summoners.
They were always big plays when he made them. I think Suide did a very good job as well.
Yeah.
He went up against that weird lane swap Game 1 and came out on top. When he was laning against Draven and then Galio. Still had a flawless score despite all that going on.
Suide had some great games. But I think, like, it's one of those things where that's your solid rock that's not necessarily your brightest star, but something that's performing extremely well and is not going to move. Bosomeness had that up and down, which kind of makes his shining spots in Game 1 and Game 3 look even better, which to me, pushes him above.
Okay, so because Bosomeness exceeded expectations.
Because
makes sense.
When we saw him do, just mediocre or okay, SLM ran away with the game, right? When he was on point and making those early game plays or getting those body slam flashes down, like, they looked unstoppable.
Absolutely. So props to TBW, props to Bosomeness. If you have some time, we can get him in here and see what he has to say about those games.
Yeah, I got a few minutes if we want to get someone in.
All right, let's hop over to pregame chatter, and Bosomeness and one of his teammates are going to come talk to us for a little bit.
Sounds good.
Hello?
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Congrats on the win. That was an exciting series. Very back and
Thank you. That was crazy.
Yeah. That was a fast game one.
Oh, yeah, game one, when we noticed it was Draven top, and he took heal.
And then
And
didn't put
that
out
was-
wards.
Yeah,
Hey.
that was interesting.
One second.
Emphasis on the int.
One second. Because everybody doesn't know, this is Blossimus, the jungler, and Captain Spencer, the 8 carry.
Hey.
It's the afternoon. What the? Okay. Yeah, but game one, I mean, the Draven was just that was why they lost. Like,
Did you realize how little vision they had, because you were just back and forth on top of him?
The first game?
You know,
Yeah.
we didn't. So the only thing I noticed was that he didn't ward when I was like finishing my red buff, and I was like, okay, he has no like escape as Draven, and
Mhm.
he's not warding against Elise with Kled top, like a little interesting. And so basically, that was free. And then besides that, I didn't really notice that they weren't warding too much, but it
Mhm.
makes sense because almost every
Yeah.
single one of my ganks worked.
It
Yeah.
was pretty bad.
Just as a note,
Um,
in all 3 of the games, he did not have a ward out at 3 minutes.
mhm. Yep.
Lord.
Yeah, so y'all punish him for that. I want to know, do y'all have a main somebody who leads the draft? Because honestly, the way y'all picked in draft is the reason you won game 1 and 3. Like, y'all had much more consistent
definitely.
and solid drafts than SLM, and that gave you a big advantage. So how does that work for you guys? Do you have one person calling it out, or how does it work?
You could take this one.
Yeah, so
Anthony.
Blossimus generally does all the research on who plays what their best picks are. So that's how we kind of formulate our draft. And we generally pick to our comfort picks, like when we didn't have Sugar Doodle on Kled the second game, that was a little rough. Because the Irelia was kind of a new thing that we hadn't really tested that much.
Right.
So the early Kled pick was really good for us, even though we knew that Dreer Prince was a Jace player, and that could kind of. We just had Blossimus gank consistently, and the Ignite was super greedy, no TP, and that's all.
Yeah.
Right.
And little side note, yeah, I think the main reason their drafts were so wonky because it's hard to have a like cohesive draft. I mean, I don't know if like Drew Prince is playing on like some like Smurf account or something that like I don't know about, but he literally had nothing in his op.gg for the past like 19-20 days. So I don't know if that's just like him coming in like ice
Called
cold
out.
to
Might
this
have been playing
match,
on the
like
Smurf.
on an off roll.
I've been playing on
Or- Yeah, I mean, it's one of the two. He played like he was like pretty well accustomed to the game, so I don't know what was up with that, but I mean, he's not a top player. It's pretty obvious he one-tricks Draven, almost. And so, I mean, I didn't really expect them to have like a great team comp, but yeah, they picked some weird stuff. Like, we
Yeah.
kind of baited them into the Lee Sin pick because Gragas does really well into that. And I knew he would pick it the second it was left up
Nice.
because he was like chomping at the bit for it, and
Spicy.
yeah, it's just that kind of stuff is just it was pretty funny.
You guys should have saw the draft for the second game for PN versus
This
D&D.
isn't
They had
about
a
that.
first pick Kog'Maw, dude.
Oh, the balls. The
So
flavor.
one more thing about the draft. One thing that really interested me was the priority you put on Soraka over Draven, and game 3 when you didn't ban Tryndamere till the second round. That really surprised me. I thought Soraka wasn't that important, and I thought Tryndamere was the biggest threat to you guys. But y'all were able to ban him second round, which I think was helpful. I think that Tryndamere was kind of off the getting off. So
But in terms
Game-
of not banning Draven, though, because we knew that Dreer Prince, I mean, he didn't do so well in the first game on Draven top, so if it was a Draven top pick, we would see that within their pick and ban, so that wasn't much of an issue. But then their 80 carry started playing Draven, and game 2, it didn't go great, but for the most part, my support and I, all we did really was just not lose lane for the most part. We were down maybe like 10 CS, 12 CS at most, but Draven's just a really aggressive lane, and in Doran Shield meta, like, those really aggressive 80 carries aren't that great because you can't shove as hard, the poke doesn't stick as much, and the trades aren't as great.
And props to your bot lane, you and your support, for doing such a good job of keeping up with that Draven and staying depth free. I don't think y'all died in lane game 3.
Oh yeah.
So that was,
Oh,
y'all
yeah,
were
yeah,
ahead
yeah.
at CS at one
Yeah.
point as well. So props for that.
Yeah, the calls game 3, it was just like, bot lane, stay alive, don't feed Draven. Top lane, don't feed Prince. And mid lane, you do whatever you want, and I'm just gonna camp top and mid. Because Prince is like super aggressive, doesn't ward, doesn't take TP, anything. Like if you get a gank off successfully onto somebody with no TP, they're literally screwed. Like there were multiple times in that game where he'd miss like 2 waves because you just die, and then he can't TP back. And so it's just so free to gank top lane, and so that's why I pretty much just camped top the entire series.
Yeah, and it worked.
Yeah.
It was also impressive seeing you guys manage to maneuver through the draft that well, missing a ban too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
was
was unfortunate. Got like a text on my phone about 30 minutes before game time from our sport. Hey man, sorry I can't make it. And I was like, oh that's fine, that's fine,
That's
don't worry.
rough.
We brought in the hidden gem, you know.
Hey,
Yeah.
he played really well. So
Yeah.
he
Oh,
fit in with
yeah.
the team, and he did.
He came from about like a 2-week hiatus. Not really a sport player, but you know he playing Nami not too hard. You press W, pop redemption. You know,
Yeah.
not too bad. Not too bad.
So let's see. So game 3, y'all were able to take advantage of your engage comp really well after it didn't work out game 2. What changed for that game 3? Was Kled the only difference that you really needed? Because we really didn't see a lot of go from you guys in game 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game 3, Kled was a big part, and another really big part was Ashe too. Because like Varus is similar to Ashe with the ult, being able to chain somebody, but it's a lot smaller of a range, obviously. So basically, what would happen, and I don't know if you guys caught on to this, I would just like go for random like explosive casks, force flashes, and then because their flashes are down, it's just like, okay, that person no flash, boom,
Press
Ashe
R.
arrow, boom, Kled R, boom, everybody just charging on them, Lux combo them, and we got like so many picks off that. We got like a pick and then dragon, we got a pick and then like the turret, and then eventually it led to us getting a couple picks and then Baron, and then a couple picks and then the game. So that pick comp, that engage comp, that was really, really good of us, and the Ashe was a massive part of it.
Yeah, I definitely questioned it after it didn't really work out game, but I'm glad to see that it was a lot more cohesive in that second game. Even with the Gragas and Lux, who are not known as, engaged champs, you definitely made it work just because of the pressure you had on them at all times.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Who do you guys-
what was the middle of game 3 like? Because you guys were pretty even, like trading back and forth pretty evenly for most of that game.
So honestly, I thought we were losing, to be fair, because like, when I tuned into the stream after we won, it said that we were up 10k, and I was like,
Oh,
what?
yeah.
There's no way we're up 10k. I thought we were up like 2k, maybe after the Baron or something. I thought we were honestly losing. And so I'm like the main shot caller of the team. I'm pretty much the one who like, gives everybody an idea of what to do. and so basically, because I had this feeling that we were behind, I kind of played as if we were behind. Honestly, if I knew we were up, like, I don't know what we were up, probably up like,
To be honest, you weren't up that much for most of the game.
yeah.
Until that fight around Baron where you got 4 or 5 kills, you were up, but only by about 1 to 2,000.
Yeah. But what we noticed was that Talia was the only one on their team who was strong. Like, Draven was like 0-2 or 1-2, and Jace is like 1-5, and their Lee Sin was like, I don't know, Lee Sin doesn't matter. All he uses like a kick, like mid-late game. And so we were just like, if we manage to kill the Talia, or kill the Taric so that we can then kill the Talia, is like super easy. So basically, mid-game, we just tried to get our best vision control that we could around the Baron pit, and multiple times we just tried to fake Baron, or start it and then get off it, because Grog is super tanky, takes no damage from Baron with like Lux and Nami. So we were able to just bait Baron like that. And, smartly, they didn't actually fall for it at all, really. They never, like, face-checked or anything. They always just, like, safely warded over the wall or Lee Sin Q'd or something.
Yeah.
But, I mean, enough times doing that, the enemy team got so antsy that eventually, I think it was Draven by Raptor Pit, stepped up too far. We threw an arrow at him. It missed, but then we engaged with Kled and we got
Kind of, I guess y'all had like that soft engage, and then you peeled back, and then re-engage while you still had ultimate.
Yeah,
really good.
yeah. Everybody burned their ult except for me, I think, and then we re-engaged after that, and so.
Yeah, I called that out afterwards, so. Yeah. I didn't even realize that you'd kept your ulti through that initial fight, because I just saw ults flying left, right, and center, right?
Yeah. I honestly have no idea. I, like, probably meant to ult, and I just didn't do it because I don't know. Having a little bit of FPS problems that game.
No, it was intentional. It was intentional, right?
I'll take the credit. I'll take the credit. I'll take it.
Alrighty, well. Anything else you guys want to say?
You want to say anything, Anthony?
Any thoughts on your matchup?
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, you guys will be
Great
playing
words.
TLG next week.
Yeah.
So, how does that make you feel?
Well, we're playing them tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow, right? Okay.
You guys next week.
Right.
No, but I don't know. I mean, we didn't play TLG during the actual season because we forfeited to them. So I have no idea what to expect. I mean, they're a good team. I don't know, but I don't know if they're better than Sport Lives Matter. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like if they're better than Sport Lives Matter, then I could see going like 2-1 their favor, maybe
It's gonna be a
2-1 our
rough one,
favor.
boys.
But I don't know. I mean, we're pretty good. We're not that bad. So I don't know. 2-0 our favor. That's my prediction.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited. I hope it's as much fun to watch as it was for this one.
Yeah. Good luck to you as well tomorrow against Project Noble.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Well, good games, guys. Well played.
Yeah.
Good luck
Thanks very much for the interview.
Good luck in the semis.
See ya.
All right, yeah, thanks so much.
Bye.
All right, I guess that does it for us then.
Yep.
If Project Noble sucks, you'll win.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. So I guess that just about wraps it up.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we should be seeing some semifinals matches and getting real close to the championship for Dominate League.
Yeah. Best of luck to you guys. Unfortunately, I won't be around to cast or watch tomorrow. I would love to, but making some money tomorrow. So.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. It was fun casting with you.
Yeah.
Games. So I'm pretty happy.
All right. Well, to everyone watching, hopefully you'll tune in tomorrow. I won't be able to be there, but should be some good games. So
Absolutely.
we'll see you soon.